It was all good last week. We linked up and made a move, and now we don't even speak. It was only about a 20-piece, it wasn't even deep. It was more about respect, feel like he was coming at my neck, so I caught him. Like a man said, they ain't really about to check, but when we dropped me 7 grams on every, I ain't coming back, and I can't fuck with that. We gotta swap it out. He said some fly shit back, I told him watch his mouth. He said some shit again, I hung up, and I gotta watch his house. Could've told me in the mall that weekend, knocked him out. Think it's sweet, we getting money, but now we popping out. Ain't throwing flags, we dropping tabs, and niggas rocking out. Fuck, I ain't giving shit back, God come and get that. Nigga hung the phone up on me, tell the dog sick day. Bunch of hitters on the corner, they like, where's Pick at? Scrolling up and down his page, they like, where's Bitch at? Where she live at, that one wall, we gon' lay. Let the money to go by, they gon' pay. More than weekend, we gon' drive to MIA. And when we see them, homicide, right away.
When niggas say certain shit to me, I be like, oh yeah, yep. Bet. He said, I don't say it to him, I said it in my head. Yeah. Bet. All right, that let me know. All right, right.
That's all you. This was good. You exposed yourself.
Yeah. We look at it.
It ain't no church in the ghetto trying to dance with the devil. Uzi on me, nigga, I do the shuffle. Heard they looking at my main bitch crib, it's to a whole nother level. They want my soul, they better hope I don't catch them. Rockin' Dickies on a whole nother schedule. Glock with 50 with them told and it's special. Might as well tell your niggas go get a shovel, cause you a dead man walking for the shit you talking. Put him in a late night and he panic, hit him while he pocket. Funeral serving niggas crying like that was right. My niggas swearing, doing murders and niggas dying. I sent my youngin' to do the draw while he was high. Made him swerve, hit your wheel, DUI. Nigga, I've ever seen you dead before I fucking see you cry. You put money all on my head, I ain't scared, we ain't hot. Nigga, you know we hit your man. When we seen you, we ain't slide. You slid in my dog, but when you hit him, he ain't die. That shit crazy when you beefing with your man and them. I used to love you, but that was crazy. I want to see you
check.
Hanging out the band again. We always over divas and we playing when they play with them. My dog got killed with his rollie on, 40 on his hand, trying to blow it off. When I was at the funeral, it really gave me tremor when I seen his mama going on. I said, fuck it, we gonna go to war. FNs, XDs, AKs, SKs. Shotty when he look like an Audemars. And I ain't here when they was talking, I was on the car. But the moral of the story is, they don't be doing that shit to us, that they be doing to y'all. Bulletproof on all the cars, security and Bentley trucks. We moving like it's all the war, it's looking beautiful. Another op, another funeral. Them hitters get this standing all on you, it ain't no view on you. Welcome to the dark side, gunpowder in your cubicles. Them boys get to grabbing you, spin them like a hula.
So how y'all whip y'all oodles and noodles up? This is the way I do. How you make your oodles and noodles? I go butter, salt, pepper, American cheese, a little hot sauce. No, don't get me wrong, though.
All I do is win, no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get it.
Let's go, Wednesday. And they stay there, and they stay there, and they stay there. Cause all we do is win.
And if you going in, put your hands in the air.
Make us stay there.
Ludacris going in on the verse, cause I never been defeated and I won't stop now. Keep your hands up, get them in the sky for the homies that ain't making it, my folks locked down. I never went nowhere. What they saying, Luda's back. Blame it on that contour. The hood call it Luda-yak. And I'm on this foolish track, so I spit my foolish flow. My hands go up and down like strippers' booties go. My verse will still be serving, tight like a million virgins. Last time on a college remix, now I'm on the original version. Count me out, y'all better count me in.
Come on, man. All we do is win. 5.0, all we do is win.
The South champions, cause all I do is
win, no matter
I'm getting my T-Pain on.
my mind, I can never get it up. And every
We
time
T-Pain, I'm getting my T-Pain on. Shout out Rose Gold. Shout out. Oh, and they stay there. And they stay there. And they stay there. Up there. Cause all I do is win. Cause if you going in, put your hands in the air, make them stay there.
Working in my low, head on the swivel, you know serving me's a no. Clean as a whistle as I pull out my race, yellow bone.
All we do is win Wednesdays, let's go.
Shell Kelly, back it up, my niggas call me loco. Therefore on traffic, you know make me pull that boat.
Up there, let's go.
Get your mud right. We come together, holding all the hood line. We all strapping all black, it's like Foot Light.
All we do do is win.
We riding the neck. Now she riding with me because you wasn't riding.
All I do is
Win, no matter what.
got money on my mind.
I can never give a fuck.
And every time I
Step up in the building, everybody hands go up. And they stay there, and they stay there, and they stay there. Up, down. All I do is win. If you do, put your hands in the air, make them stay there.
Heat in the kitchen, hot on the stove, water getting boiled, dope being sold.
Woo! All I do is win, no matter what. Got winning on my mind, I can never give a fuck. And every time I step up in the sphere, everybody hands go up. And they stay there. Perfect Timing Podcast in the building, baby. Ain't nobody rocking like this. You can go find any other YouTube channel. Find any other YouTube channel. Find any other content creator. Look is good. Smell is good. Sound is good. It can't be done. It can't be done. It can't be done. We in the building, man. All we do is win Wednesdays, man. You know what I'm saying? This the Women's Wednesday format, but I switched it up, man. I switched it up because I was feeling victorious today. I feel victorious every day. If you're feeling victorious, put a one. I'm going to put my own one in the chat. How about that? If you're feeling victorious, put a one in the chat. If you winning, if all you do is win, if you every day working on your journey to perfection and you fucking with this, if you fucking with this winner lifestyle, we're talking about being a winner. If you're working on your journey to perfection and you fucking with this winner lifestyle and you're concerned about not quitting, because quitters never win. Quitters never win. You see what I'm saying? Quitters never win. But if you about this discipline, if you about this diligence and all you do is win, because see, people might think that's arrogant. You know what I'm saying? Oh, that's arrogant. All you do is win. Well, do you want to lose? I said somebody won the gold medal. You gonna win in life or you gonna lose in life. Perfect Timing, I'm promoting all we do is win. It's your choice. It's your, we all got a choice. It's your choice. We all got a choice. I choose to win. Shout out to my brother Rose Gold. Shout out to Salon. Shout out to Alonzo in the chat. John P in the chat. Son Claw in the chat. Yo, I was watching Rose Gold earlier today, and Rose Gold was clowning me about looking like T-Pain. So I'm like, okay, I'm bringing back that T-Pain. I'm bringing back that all I do is win, because I've been feeling really victorious, man. And my brother said you look like T-Pain. So I got my T-Pain vibe on. It's my birthday week, so we be doing polo all week. This is that collarless polo. You might not have seen a polo like this before. You know what I'm saying? You got to go to the polo store to get this polo. But see, you know what I'm saying? That's the horse right there, and it ain't got no collar. You know what I'm saying? This a t-shirt, you know what I'm saying? But it still costs $100, man. But this a collarless polo, because we rocking out for the B-Day, man. Polo all week. You know what I'm saying? We going to keep it rocking out. I might throw on the rugby. Shout out Pastor $40, man. Pastor $40 had an awesome show today. Pastor $40 had an awesome show today. Hey, Pastor, let me give you a coffin nail. Let me give Pastor a coffin nail. Pastor dropped a coffin nail, man. Oh, man. Hey, I'll even give props to the man. The man, you had a good show today, too. Let me give you the drummer some. Great show. Y'all had a great show. So Pastor $40 did a show, and you know Pastor $40's mother is a preacher. I grew up a Baptist, and I've recently started a church format where I preach on Sundays, and I'm no longer waiting for anybody to give me a pastoralship. And so Pastor went in on Creflo Dollar today, and I was kind of concerned, like, okay, where is he going? But this brother is very intelligent, and he presented information that's extremely manosphere, extremely 5.0. Basically, what he showed is that he went to the website with Creflo Dollar's website, and there's no men's ministry. There's no men's ministry. So we talked last week about pandering and individuals doing certain topics. Shout out She, we here. individuals doing topics in the manosphere to pander for views or for likes, but not necessarily to actually educate men. Well, today on Pastor $40 Show with the man, I got some tangibles, some real tangibles. That was a bomb-ass show, brother. I had no idea that Creflo Dollar, his church didn't have any men's ministries. When you look on the website, they have a team. It's all women and children. You have Black Lives Matter posted on the building. And you know what I was going to put in the chat, Pastor, but I had to go do some errands, is when you presented that information, it made me more understand. We've been talking about the different branches of government, right? So we talked last week about the quasi-fourth branch of government, which is the oligarchies now who are mandating. What's the latest thing we heard? Hawaii shut down. Somebody else is mandating, and now Biden is okaying the mandates. None of this without a vote. You haven't voted for any of these mandates. They're not calling them laws. You know why? Because you have to vote for laws. Hello? They're not calling them laws. You know why? Because you have to vote for laws. Okay? So it made me think about. So there's the fourth branch of government, right? But it made me think about the 504c3 and how churches actually operate in our Black communities and what type of strong arm those Black churches have in our community. So when you presented that information and how the Black church, a major billion-dollar Black church, is lock in step with the Democratic Party, oh, that was powerful. That was powerful, brother, because I didn't see, at first I'm like, okay, I'm a spiritual person. Is he going after the spirit? I'm like, no, this Pastor $40. He was exposing a bureaucracy. He exposed the bureaucracy of that church and how they are another branch of the government and pushing the Democratic liberal agenda to the point where he brought up Taffy Dollar's, the wife's website. On the cover of the website is a harlot, and it looks like a BLM website. If you look at Taffy Dollar's website, it resembles the BLM website. Nothing about children. It's Lucky Charms all the way, weaves and wigs, promiscuity. I'm like, what is this? Pastor $40, great show. Great show. Great show. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe, man. Great show. Great show. That was a coffin nail. Coffin nail, coffin nail, coffin nail, brother. Coffin nail, coffin nail, coffin nail. Great show, brother. Great show, man. Inspired. This is the race to the top. This is the competition that we want. We want healthy competition. Steel sharpens steel. You know what I'm saying? So when brothers is making good content like that, that makes it better for everybody. You know what I'm saying? It makes it more competitive. So I come on today on Wednesday. You know, I'm like, okay, I do Women Wednesdays, but I'm revamping this shit because Pastor going in, everybody going in. I'm like, nah. I'm coming lit. You know what I'm saying? All I do is win Wednesdays, T-Pain, Polo, let's go. All I do is win, because I'm like, man, this man doing good. We going in, man. We going in, man. So today, man, what's the topic today? All we do is win. So today, brother, we got some shit to talk about today, really. Like, so I was out doing the Watusi last night, so that's why I got started late. And as I looked around, I found something that, I don't know, man. Y'all don't have to come up on the panel and tell me how you feel about it. But, you know, Reading Rainbow, you know, LAVAR Burton. So I've been hearing about LAVAR Burton becoming the host of Jeopardy for a while now. You know what I mean? Alex Trebek passed on, and LAVAR Burton from Reading Rainbow was supposed to be slotted to be the next host, right? For Jeopardy, right? So as I'm doing my research today, I saw something that kind of was disappointing, you know what I'm saying, about the brother LAVAR Burton when it refers to him becoming the host of Jeopardy. So what I found is that he's not gonna become the host. So they picked two other people to be the host. They picked the executive producer, this white dude, and they picked Blossom. Y'all remember Blossom? And she was in the Big Bang Theory. Now, come to find out, she's actually a real neuroscientist. I didn't know she was an actual real neuroscientist. But instead of LAVAR Burton, and the public has already known and wanted LAVAR Burton to be the host, but instead what has happened is they've chosen the executive producer, this gentleman right here. But check this out, you guys. Check this out for a coffin nail. Because what did we talk about? And if you read the description, please read the description and vote in the poll. What we talking about is with this resurgence of masculinity, with this black manosphere, when you got the Style OG doing commercials, Kevin Samuels with 1 million subs, the Me Too dragon has not gone to sleep. I'll say that again. The Me Too dragon has not gone to sleep, man. And that Me Too dragon is roaring fire in his head again, causing confusion, causing dismantling within the body of the government and the family and the home. Now, this is the guy who they picked. But check this out. Check this out. So the guy that they picked is executive producer, right? But he's only been executive producer on the Jeopardy show for 2 years. But his background is tainted in Me Too. How the hell? So they picked the white boy that nobody wants, nobody knows, never been on TV, executive producer, and lo and behold, he has multiple lawsuits for when he worked on The Price is Right for doing what? Me Too. What did he do when he was on The Price is Right? Now check this out. Check this out. It said multiple women sued The Price is Right during Mike Richards' tenure as executive producer, and their stories paint an unsavory picture of Alex Trebek's presumptive successor. I want to read this other thing it said right here. Check this out. Richards said that he liked the models to look as they were going out on a date. At his suggestion, models wore bikinis to the show more frequently. No Reading Rainbow. No LAVAR Burton. No person that inspires intelligence, that makes people want to watch the show. No, you pick this can-ass white boy that nobody knows who wants to see naked bitches on TV. That's who you pick instead of LAVAR Burton. That's who you pick. That's where All I Do Is Win is coming from. Because this type of stuff we got to call out. When we talk about the digital voice, this is what we're talking about with the digital voice. Everybody on this, everybody in the chat right now, you probably heard and knew that LAVAR Burton was most certainly going to be the next host of Jeopardy after Alex Trebek. No, today they announced that they are going to hire two different hosts. Two different hosts. So here I come with the multi-level Me Too assault. The multi-level assault. So first, it's the white boy who has all of these allegations that's forcing this conversation back into the lexicon. You think they didn't know about these lawsuits? Yes, they knew about the lawsuits, but this puts Me Too back in the spotlight again. Now, how else on a multi-pronged attack is the gynocracy again highlighting women's rights? Well, we can't just have one host. No, we can't just have one host. We got to have two hosts. We got to have a male and a female host because everybody gets a trophy. So we're not just going to have one white male host. We're going to have two hosts, and the other host is going to be a woman. Why do I'm coming up on a birthday, 40-something. I've been watching game shows. Why do we need two hosts? And why do we need a male and a female host? If you're going to bow to the gynocracy, just make it a female host. Just make it a female host. No, it's a slap in the face. And I said in my description, it's like the video game. First, they take the video game. They put a woman on the video game. They make you buy the video game. Then what else did I put in the description? Well, let's read. I'm gonna read my own description. Oh man, we didn't even get to Batman and Robin. They take your favorite video game, then they take your son's favorite comic book character. They even went after your son's favorite video game maker. That video got some of the highest views. That video got some of the highest views. The video I did about the lawsuit from California going after Activision Blizzard. Did you know with that lawsuit, you know what transpired with that lawsuit? Shout out to Alonzo. You know, we've been talking about money a lot lately. You know what transpired with that lawsuit? They actually stopped making the game. They stopped making the game. The men who built the game, designed the game, and played the game walked out and said they would not continue the game, the project, to get the newest version of Call of Duty. Can you freaking frack believe that about the use profanity? I was about to use profanity. They said they would not finish the game, brothers. This Me Too dragon is not playing. So they go after your favorite video game. NCAA 2K22, they put Candace Parker on the cover. They tell you that it's your fault that the WNBA is not profitable, right? At the same time, they have a secret ad telling you that if you don't watch your daughter play sports, that it makes your daughter want to quit. But Simone Biles quit. And then they go after Activision Blizzard with the most popular video game that these young men, some people don't like when I say incels, but somebody give me another word. The game that the young men are playing in the basement, they shut down all the video game makers. You don't go after Apple? Why not go after the oligarchies? All of the video game makers that you could go after, you go after Activision Blizzard. You go after Activision Blizzard. And it was 2 years at the beginning of Me Too when they started the lawsuit. A federal secret investigation. And now what do you have? You had a black man, popular, slated to be the host of Jeopardy, and he doesn't get the job. A white boy gets the job with a litany of Me Too lawsuits that makes Twitter and all of the social media sites light back up again with Me Too headlines. You see all these bolds, they are loving it. And it's not only the fact that Me Too and the allegations are back in the headlines, but you're going to make us have a female host. You're going to make us have two hosts. You know why it's not just a female host? Come on, is anybody intelligent in the chat listening? Why is it not just the female host? Why did they go out of their way to have two hosts? It's the same logic and mathematics of putting Candace Parker on the cover of 2K22. To say to you, purpose, it's the gynocracy is the biggest bully, y'all. The gynocracy is the biggest bully, y'all. You're going to give me a male host and a female host to just show me that you have to do this, America. You have to show equal footing to women, right? And then how about 6 months? They already got the guy set up to get canceled. Then you fire him, you cancel him, and then you only have one host, the woman host. Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. All I do is win, man. T-Pain, man. T-Pain in the building, man. I'm T-Paining on them, man. I got my hair down. It's long, it's curly, it's wavy, it's luxurious. You know what I'm saying? I got my gold frames on. We T-Paining on them, man. It's all I do is win Wednesdays, man. What y'all think about that LaVar Burton, man? I know I got real passionate, man, but that's why you come watch, man. LaVar Burton, man. I love LaVar Burton. We grew up on him, man, reading Rainbow. So I was very happy. You know, he created an app. I had promoted his app. A lot of people have been looking for Reading Rainbow. Well, LaVar Burton, he actually had bought Reading Rainbow after his stint with Star Trek. One of the things he did with his Star Trek money is LaVar Burton to me is like LaVar Burton patterned himself after Bill Cosby in my eyes, right? He was a second coming of Bill Cosby in my eyes, right? So after his Star Trek money, he took that Star Trek money and he actually bought the rights to Reading Rainbow. Yeah, LaVar Burton actually bought the rights to Reading Rainbow, and he owned Reading Rainbow because it was a debunked show. Nobody was doing it, so why not buy it and own it? So he bought Reading Rainbow, right? And what he did is he turned it into an app, and he spent a lot of money creating this very elaborate app, and that was the last thing I heard about LaVar Burton. I was very excited about Reading Rainbow still being in existence, and him purchasing and owning Reading Rainbow, and then turning it into this interactive learning app for kids, man. So I'm like, LaVar Burton is the guy, man. You know what I mean? And so when I heard that he would be hosting Jeopardy, I was so happy for him. I mean, like, you see the name today, Perfect Win. I'm like, that's a perfect win. It's appropriate. You know what I'm saying? Given his background with Reading Rainbow, the role that he played in Star Trek, you know, it would bring in all of those people, the sci-fi lovers, the Reading Rainbow people from kids who might just sit down and watch Jeopardy when they haven't watched Jeopardy in over 10 years, simply because LaVar Ball is the host. He would trigger that type of attention. Hey, LaVar Ball is the new host. LaVar Burton is the new host of Jeopardy. I remember him. Let me sit down and watch a couple episodes. That's what happened with Steve Harvey on Family Feud, only to come to replace him with a gentleman with multiple Me Too allegations. And now we have to debate Me Too validity in the press again, when we could have just had the host that everybody wanted. And it's not just that you make us debate Me Too validities again. after Bill Cosby has been vindicated, but then you make us have two hosts. You make us have two hosts. We're not complex human beings. Why do we need two hosts? Why do we need a male and a female? You've never given me a black and a white host to help with racial justice and racial camaraderie and tension. Why not give me a black and a white host? It would seem idiotic, right? White men would get pissed. Why? Because they would feel like you're forcing something down my throat. If you want a black host, just give a black host. But don't give me a white and a black host because you're saying to me, I have a problem with black people and you don't know that. Don't give me a male and a female host. Just give me the female host because you're saying to me that I have a problem, that I'm a child, and you have to slowly ease me into having a female. Fuck that, man. All we do is win, man. They trying to, the gynocracy, that dragon is alive, you guys. This is the conversation. This is the conversation. What else we got? Oh my God. Y'all want to go to, I put the link in the chat if anybody want to join. I've seen a couple of my brothers, man. Hey, there goes Sun Clark right there. Speak of the devil and the devil shall appear. Good brother, how you doing? All you do is win.
Peace to the chat. Peace to the panel.
Peace.
Perfect. Why are you calling me by my true name?
Hey, Sun Clark, did you pop up right when I said your name? No. Wow, let's go. Win, man. I said, what's up? I was about to put the link in the chat again. Then they go,
you know what I tell some people when they want a favor from me?
What you tell them?
I tell them I'm the last person you ask. After you done sold your soul to the devil, and the devil tells you, hey man, I already own your soul. Go talk to Sun Clark. I'll do the favor then.
Right? I like that. Yo, what you got on the top? We didn't get into everything yet. So right now we just starting off. The first topic today was LAVAR Burton. And I thought that was relevant. LAVAR Burton is very, I always I had a real affinity for LAVAR Burton because my father, to me, like I said, LAVAR Burton was in the same ilk as Bill Cosby. So my dad liked Bill Cosby, like, because he had a PhD. Like, people don't remember, like, I fell in love with Bill Cosby well before the Cosby Show. I remember Bill Cosby from his I don't know if he did Reading Rainbow before LAVAR Burton, but Bill Cosby had a show similar to Reading Rainbow with that pen. I used to always want that pen. Y'all remember that pen that Bill Cosby had when he would draw, and that magical pen he had? But so I always had an affinity for LAVAR Burton, going back to Reading Rainbow and how he would take the time, and him and Bill Cosby don't get credit for how he cared about black boys and black boys' education and reading and better upbringing. And then he went on to Star Trek, and then I heard that he would be the host of Jeopardy. And I was very happy for him because, like I just stated, the last thing I heard was he had turned Reading Rainbow into this interactive learning app. I was extremely excited about that because I got kids. And now today, I see this convoluted, complex story about not only him not getting the job, but them hiring a male and a female, right? Forcing two hosts, a male and a female host, again with the Me Too shit. And then not only that, knowing that he had all of these Me Too allegations, and this is the talk of the day, not LAVAR Burton, but all of these allegations. So this dragon is alive and well once again after Bill Cosby's vindication.
Is Jeopardy a game show?
Far as I know, that
is it just a game show?
Oh, I don't know if I could say that. It's like been on.
It's been in movies. Alex has been in movies.
Correct. 32 years, right?
It has been a symbol of people of high intelligence, of people who are on the show.
Correct.
Even the contestants become famous.
36-year MC.
I think even people who don't like TV watch Jeopardy because they're considering it as something educational.
As intelligent people will absorb. So a black man, go ahead, Sun Clark. Go ahead,
so
Sun
if
Clark.
it's considered something educational,
right,
and the host is almost seen as somebody who has wisdom.
Correct.
Who else but LaVar Burton with his graying hair
Blossom,
and his history
fucking Blossom
of teaching kids how to read and enjoy reading? Who better than to have him? Blossom would have been like a good host for like a Discovery Channel show.
Yeah.
On neuroscience, but for Jeopardy, she just ain't doing it. She's too young. And I just took a look at the picture of the other person that they have on there. That person's too young too.
Exactly. He's only been executive producer for 2 years. It's a slap in the face.
But there's other things too.
Oh yeah.
Why have the two hosts?
Why?
Right now, they run investigations on people who are going to be part of a TV show because they don't want any pie in their face after the fact.
Mm-hmm.
They want to know everything about this person's history so that they know whether or not they can move forward with this person. So knowing that, looking at people's tweets, looking at people's work history and so on and so forth, them hiring him and announcing him tells you what?
I don't know. Please share.
That this was for a reason.
It was for a reason. This is me too. This is calculated a reason. The fact is, I said it's compounded, bro. This is a compounded attack. You do not bring this guy in and not know that he has settled all of these multiple lawsuits. His reputation it precedes him. So
it works two ways too. Perfect.
Say again.
It works in multiple ways. Now, I'm going to put on my devil's hat on.
Oh shit!
If I were devious, why would I want this man of black persuasion as part of my show?
I don't know.
Everybody likes him, but I have to set something up.
Yeah.
So that he can't have his way and that the audience can't have their way. What would I do? I'll hire two hosts and I'll make both of them white.
Right. I can't look bad.
And that'll make them really angry.
Look at this shit.
But then, wait, there's more. I will get the scummiest male host that I can get. And I will hire him. And then when I fire him, because of Me Too, I'll have to keep the female host. Why? Because of Me Too.
That's what I said. Hey, that's what I said.
Because otherwise, people will attack me.
Right. Great minds
as being inconsiderate for hiring that guy in the first place. So in order to avoid that backlash of hiring him in the first place, I'll have to keep the woman. And guess what? My devious plan of having LaVar Burton not on the show is a success.
That was the whole goal the whole time. That's what I deduced the whole time. That hiring this gentleman with this background gives them cover to cancel him, bring Me Too in the forefront, and then go with the female host. It's the bully. What I'm saying, gynocracy has perfected bullying and has become the biggest bully on the block.
And it also silences the whole LaVar Burton was going to be the host of the show.
Oh no, that's boring. That's boring. We want something salacious, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's boring. I'd rather talk about somebody who was sexually harassing, and then this little young white sex pot with the glasses on who plays into the whole cosplay, incel. This is very perverted, bro. Her being on her existence on Big Bang Theory was speaking to those guys who want to fuck her, who've had a crush on her and want to fuck Blossom. That's why she wears the glasses. Blossom didn't always wear the glasses. Blossom, just like S.E. Cup, they play into this pornographic image of this cute
And perfect. Talking about pornographic images, you know what? I didn't even recognize her without that condom that she used to wear on her head.
She used to wear a condom on her head.
Yeah, you don't remember on the old Blossom show?
No.
She had this Scully that almost looked like one.
Oh wow, no, because I didn't watch it like that. But I do know that these guys that we're talking about do consider her to be sexy. So they're triggering something with picking this person. They're triggering something with picking this person. This is what it says. Breaking news. Jeopardy announced that it would have 2 hosts to succeed Alex Trebek. Mike Richards, the show's executive producer, and Mayim Bialik. I don't know how to say that. The actress and neuroscientist known for her roles in The Big Bang Theory and Blossom. Just a trip, man. Just horrible, man. The way they did our boy. But I love the way that you put that together, because that's the same thing I saw. Sorry, Reading Rainbow fans. Hold on, let me bring this. Let me read this real quick, because I like the way this article was put together. Sorry, Reading Rainbow fans, but it appears LaVar Burton will not be the new host of Jeopardy. Neither will franchise stalwart Ken Jennings, Ben Bang Theory, see that we're wrong about that, or Anderson Cooper, all of whom enjoy popular runs as guest hosts in the late Alex Trebek steed. According to Variety, the long-running game show is eyeing an in-house replacement for its 36-year MC executive producer, Mike Richards. Richards has not officially been named yet. Variety reports that he is in advanced negotiations, and a source told the Daily Beast discussions potentially remain ongoing. Still, Richards' selection has been proven frustrating to fans who saw the parade of celebrity guest hosts as an indication that the show was committed to reviewing diverse candidates for the role, right? But they pick a white boy. You hear that? That the show was committed to picking a diverse candidate.
But it is diverse because they picked a woman.
That's why they got 2, and like they're going to run the play that we just said. Even worse, however, are allegations from Richardson's past at The Price is Right, where models accused producer of discrimination and harassment. In 2010, model Shane Sterling sued CBS and Price is Right producer Media North on grounds that she had been let go from the show in 2008 as a result of her pregnancy. Oh, wow. However, Sterling struggled to present sufficient evidence to support the claim in court. Oh, wow. Fellow producers claim that they cut models from the pool for 10 to 5 in order to concentrate on those that were best modeling chops and on-screen chemistry with newly named host Drew Carey. Sterling countered that she had been forced to take less time off after her pregnancy, she would have been better shot retaining her job, but that was not enough to sway the judge, who noted that the statute of limitations on such a claim. Oh, wow. Yeah, I like that, man. I like that. So, Me Too rears its ugly. Oh, man, this XLR cable. Me Too rears its ugly head again. But we got more to talk about, bro. You want to add anything?
Do you remember the old Tonight shows?
Johnny Carson.
Yeah. So who did they have replace him?
Was it Jay Leno, right?
Yeah.
I remember it was a big fight about it, because I remember that's the whole Conan thing, right? Conan was supposed to get it, right?
Yeah, but here's the thing, Perfect. Leno was a guest on that show. He was actually a guest host on the show.
Similar to this situation.
Yes, and usually the way it goes, they have a go-to person as a guest host when the main host is sick or on vacation or what have you. And then they pick that person. If the person dies or if they decide to retire, to have them host the show, because the audience is already familiar with that person.
Right. Makes
They
sense.
know what kind of ratings they get with that person. They know what kind of prestige or presence that person has. And to me, you have a brand And the best person in the world, in my opinion, to have replaced Alex Trebek would have been LeVar Burton.
Best person, hands down.
Because whenever you think of LeVar, you either think of the engineer on Star Trek
Or Reading Rainbow.
or Reading Rainbow. And that Reading Rainbow right there puts him ahead of everybody else.
Right.
The people in the demographic who would watch his show, or younger demographic, used to watch Reading Rainbow as kids. I can't think of anybody in the country, unless they were going to some kind of private school or were homeschooled, that did not see Reading Rainbow.
Correct.
I mean, every single child in this country at a particular point in time. You remember that old, what was it? The AV cart?
Yeah, I remember the AV
with
cart.
that television and the old school. Yeah.
You had the plugs on it. You could plug shit up.
So they would roll that into the classroom for Reading Rainbow.
Right.
And I still remember it to this day.
You ain't know AV cart. Shout out to the AV cart. Put a one in the chat if you remember the AV cart, man. Yeah, man, you ain't never lied.
So right now, they're going to put this woman on the show. And as popular as Big Bang Theory is, do you know that the hottest shows of today don't even come close to the viewership of shows in the past that used to get canceled?
Wow. People don't watch TV no more.
No.
People
they get like 3 million views. And that's a hit show. Back in the day, 3 million views would get your show canceled. And as popular as Big Bang Theory is, I'll tell you what, more people have watched Reading Rainbow than have watched the Big Bang Show.
Right. Right. What I said, did you hear what I said, Sunclaw? I said LeVar Burton would trigger someone who doesn't watch Jeopardy to sit and watch. Similar to Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey coming from a comedian background and from Def Comedy Jam background. When I see Steve Harvey, I may sit and watch the show when I normally may have not watched the show, simply because Steve Harvey is host of Family Feud and he's going to tell a joke. And I may not even like Family Feud. He's broadened the audience. He's broadened the audience. The same thing would happen with LeVar Burton. He would have the same effect, because some individuals who hadn't watched Jeopardy since they were a child with their grandma or really doesn't like Jeopardy, the fact that LeVar Burton, there would be black men who would watch the show simply because there was a black male host, and there would be a buttload of people from the generation you're speaking about who would watch simply for familiarity. The same reason like a lot of people come to the show to hear my voice. People have said many a times that there's something about my voice that they love. It's the same thing why I love LeVar Burton. If LeVar Burton was hosting the show, I would sit and watch simply to hear him speak so eloquently. He does that. He has that presence. And with, like you said, with the beard now, with the gray on the face, he's charismatic. None of those people have that je ne sais quoi. Now, you brought up a couple things. Now, how about that, Sunclaw? That white boy is pasty.
Mm-hmm.
And the white girl to say they don't have that thing that Alex Trebek had.
What did Alex have? Did he have like this air of somebody who was wise and highly intelligent?
You know what they both had? They both were the Dos Equis guy.
Yeah.
Alex Trebek could do a Dos Equis commercial, hands down, slam dunk. LeVar Burton could do a Dos Equis commercials, hands down. Can you see that person that they pick doing a Dos Equis commercial? No bullshit.
No.
Is he the most intriguing man in the world?
No.
No. But put LeVar Burton in that to bully.
That perfect. I got that guy, that producer looking at me on one of my monitors, man.
Say again.
I got one of my monitors over here, and it's got that Mike Richards over there.
Oh yeah,
the way he looking at me, man. and with that smirk he got, oh my goodness, it's creeping me out, man. Now, let me
brother in the chat, sophistication. Yeah, man, LeVar Burton has that.
So he has that gravitas of a wise older man who's learned, who has been educating children for the longest time, who probably has been seen by millions upon millions of children. There are people who don't even know what Blossom or Big Bang. I haven't watched the Big Bang. I
Right.
watched Blossom a couple of episodes. But you know what? I know what Reading Rainbow is, and I bet everybody in the audience right now knows what Reading Rainbow is.
It's like almost like you should pay LeVar Burton. Like to overlook him is so a lack of understanding of how television and audiences work. What I just described about me sitting down to watch the show, even though I didn't watch the show, this is what happens with YouTubers and content creators when we form our friendships. When YouTube and content creators work together, what you're doing is you're merging and sharing audiences. Like when Rose Gold and Lazo came over, Rose Gold and Lazo way on the East Coast. They're not really in the manosphere like that. They just on YouTube, just hot content creators doing hip hop and battles and shit. Seeing my content from Keith Shee and invited me over, and now we've shared audience. I have people from my audience that go watch those brothers. Now they have people from their audience that come watch me. That is what would have happened with LeVar Burton. What Sunclaw is saying is these individuals don't generate that. That's not the way television works. Why would you hire an executive producer who has no experience on television, and what does he bring to the table? He doesn't bring an audience. He doesn't bring a generation. LeVar Burton is generational. He has a generational pool. He's shown that.
I mean, he's been a star in motion pictures. He's been on public television. There's nobody that they've had on that show who has his level of fame. And here's one thing I'm also thinking about, and maybe it's bad of me to think about this. The girl that they want to put on that show, or I should say the woman, in order not to offend our feminist listeners. She was on a hit show. Who would demand more of a salary?
The woman.
LeVar Burton would probably be cheaper.
Correct. And
would have the advantage of being that image, with fitting that image of Jeopardy better than these two hosts that they are putting on right now.
I didn't even think about the money. You're going to have to pay both of these people a premium because of his background from Price is Right and in her background as a woman. So this is where it's going to go.
On the number one hit show.
No, not even that. This is how it's going to go, because think about the WNBA and how the floor that we laid, right? So as a man and knowing what other men make in the industry, he's going to ask for the top, right? And with the Me Too dragon, fire-breathing dragon with their head high, she's going to demand equal. Even though she doesn't have the same resume, she's going to demand to be paid equally. God damn. He's coming from Price is Right. He has all his history and background. He's going to demand, he knows the ins and outs of how to negotiate these contracts because he was the executive producer. So he knows what the show makes. He knows what a host should get. He's going to ask for the most. He's going to ask for the most. If it's $20 million a year, $100 million package, he's going to ask for that because he understands the numbers. And she, as a woman, will demand equal pay. Oh! You see it? You see the play? How else can you get Blossom $20 million a year for hosting when she's never even did a fucking movie? How do you get her to $30 million? You got to get a man in that position, make her the co-host. That man will negotiate first. The article said he's in negotiations. Once he gets his contract, then Me Too goes to work. Now tell me, Sunclaw, what do you think Me Too is going to do when they hear about his $20 million contract? I can see the Twitter headlines now. Blossom better get it.
Mm-hmm. And that's if they keep him. And I doubt that they're going to keep him.
No, the whole play would be to get her at that salary. They're going to cancel him, but he negotiates his salary first, right?
Mm-hmm.
$36 million, whatever it is. Then Me Too can say, whatever the fuck you paid this man, you better pay this woman because they're the biggest bully on the block. Everyone will forget about the fact that she doesn't have the resume to warrant that amount of pay. That will be out of the window. It will become a discussion of what? Equal pay. Pay disparity. The same thing at Activision and Blizzard. I do it again. Perfect, you did it again. Perfect, you did it again. Perfect.
I had to look into Mike Richards' background.
Go ahead. What do you got?
He used to be a game show host.
So he did. So he was not only an executive producer for Price is Right, he was a game show host.
He was a show. I think he was on maybe The Weakest Link, but for sure he was over here on a show called Beauty and the Geek.
I do remember that.
He was the second show of Beauty and the Geek. So he was the second host on that show. So he does, to a degree, have some experience, but nothing on a major game show.
Nothing.
But Jeopardy is not really an ordinary game show.
I'm glad you brought that point up because I left that out.
Because there's a certain prestige to it. It's not the everyday man that watches Jeopardy. It's more of a more educated person or people who consider themselves smarter who watch Jeopardy.
Some people might be insulted by the questions by not knowing in the way they frame.
Mm-hmm. You have to ask them in the form of a question. Otherwise, you don't get the points. So it's they don't fit the image. They do not fit the image that I have in my mind of Jeopardy.
No. I don't think nobody will argue that, Son Claw.
And if they had gone with a woman, they should have gone with an older woman. With maybe some gray in her hair.
To show respect for that demographic. You see the Twitter chatter is that they had committed to diversity. Well, elders is a group, elder abuse and elders are a group that's been neglected. I totally agree that it could have been somebody from the elder class that we need, because I believe we need to highlight those individuals just like we need to highlight the good performing women. We need to highlight the good performing elders because we don't have enough.
Mm-hmm.
To put up a light to those elders who are not performing in their highest potential.
Because really, even as a female host, she really ain't the best looking of things either. She wasn't back then on Blossom either. So,
but that's why she plays into that incel cosplay, pornographic image with those glasses. If you like, I wish Coffee might show up later, but that's a look.
It's a look. That's a librarian look.
Yeah, that's a look.
She even has her hair up in a little bun at the top, right, in the back.
She's invoking sex play, and she believes that men are foolish enough not to understand. What's up, little bro? What you got, G?
What's up, G?
Yeah, peace to the gods, man.
Peace.
I would be curious to know how they names even got submitted to host Jeopardy.
I mean, there have only been rumors about LAVAR Burton for the last year.
That's why I thought this would be a great story, because even everyone knows LAVAR Burton was going to be the next host. Am I right or wrong?
Nobody gave him any pushback. Nobody said, no, pick somebody else. Everybody was on board with it.
Everybody was celebrating it.
I thought it was a sure thing.
I thought it was a sure thing. When
I'm going to speak to what Son Claus said. We all remember the Reading Rainbow. We all remember that, yo. I used to sit down and really watch that shit. Like, and I'm 31. So, you know, my generation definitely know who LAVAR Burton is. You know what I mean? We all remember the words of the day. You know what I'm saying? The word of the day is, you know what I mean?
So basically what he's saying is he's what we just said, Son Claw, that it would broaden the audience. And now he just even told us that it would have made the audience younger. Ain't that how you make money? Ain't that how you make the show last?
Well, and then also, like, that show, it needs somebody like Alex Trebek because it's a no-nonsense show. Like, Alex Trebek, he didn't tell no jokes on that joint. He wasn't on no playtime or nothing. Right. He was strictly to the knowledge, like, and he wasn't taking no bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So you got that air of sophistication, discipline, and scholarship from Alex Trebek. I don't see those two people as scholars, sophisticated, or disciplined.
Excellent point. I would agree.
And when you say scholar, would you say somebody who's an educator?
No. A teacher and an educator is different than somebody who's scholarly, I think. Maybe if you're talking about like a high-level professor at some levels, but not no just run of the mill teacher.
But LeVar Burton right now, to me, with the gray hair, he's got that look. If they were going to replace Alex, Burton is a shoo-in.
It should have been. It should have been. This Me Too dragon is back, you guys. This is the conversation. But like, men are asleep. A man are asleep. And you know what else is so, with Sunclaw you brought up, is that they can bring into this racial aspect of it. They bring in the racial, they bring two white people, a male and a female, and then it convolutes everything so the conversation doesn't get back and men don't have a voice.
For some reason, I think she's of the small hat community. I don't know why I think that.
I think so too. You know, there was a tweet that called her a Zionist. I can't find it, man. He said it was a black guy who said, so the public wants LeVar Ball. Fox News says, no, I'm going to hire a guy with Me Too allegations and a known Zionist to be the host. Yeah, they went out of their way. They went out of their way, bro. They went out of their way. Oh, she said it's not about Me Too. Come up, she give your opinion. She said it's not about Me Too. Come share your opinion, she said feeling. It's not only about Me Too. This isn't a long effort since Bill Cosby's vindication of Me Too being a bully and putting his head back out there saying that I'm the biggest guy on the block. You know what I'm saying? In my description, if you read the description, I always direct everybody to read the description. I said in the description, this is not just the beginning. It started with putting Candace Parker on the cover of 2K22, forcing young men who buy the game, support the game, who watch the NBA, putting a face to them saying that it's something wrong with you. It's something wrong with you because you're not watching the WNBA and they're not paid fairly, and that has everything to do with you and your lack of respect for women. Then they go even further. They go and they shut down and file a federal lawsuit against the game company who makes the most popular game in the world, in the country, for all these kids who stay inside. And the men at the company walk out and say they won't finish completing the game until women get paid fairly, who don't really even work there and don't play the game. Same thing as with 2K22. Y'all see this theme? There's a theme where women are getting respected and honored when there's no reason to respect and honor them and they haven't been disrespected. That's the bully. That's what a bully does.
I just finished looking into it, and she would technically qualify as a double minority.
Because of her background.
Yep, because she's small hat and she's a woman.
Correct. So now you got all of these things happening. You got Simone Biles quitting with the mental health. You got all these things happening with Me Too at the same time, because Bill Cosby was not just set free. You notice Bill Cosby's not in the newspaper. With the Bill Cosby vindication and overturn was a crippling blow to the Me Too movement. In the King Kong form of defense, they're bringing it back out for Cuomo, and we need to pay attention. Cuomo just resigned without any adjudication off of sexless allegations. The King of New York gave up his crown over sexless allegations. I'm gonna say it one more Mickey Ficky time. The King of New York gave up his crown over sexless allegations. Yeah, it's Me Too, Sheed. It's Me Too, Sheed, and we need to recognize it, because who will be next on the chopping block? It was a white boy yesterday. Today it's a brother. Today LeVar Ball suffered something that should have been his in order to move the Me Too effort forward. I don't think Me Too really wanted LeVar Burton not to be the host. Think about that. Think about how calculated and sinister you have to be and how women do calculated things. I don't think Me Too really cared. Think about an evil woman. I don't think Me Too really gave a fuck. They don't really give a fuck about LeVar Burton being the host. If you were to ask the Me Too evil motherfuckers, they probably would say he probably would be a better host. But look at what I was able to gain with this chess move. This is a hell of a move. No one even gives a fuck about Jeopardy. This was gone out of my head. I thought he was already being the host. I thought LeVar Burton already had it. It's a hell of a chess move. Hell of a chess move. So you don't give them the job and you give it to two different people. One of them being a woman, the other one with Me Too allegations. We haven't seen Me Too headlines like this in how long, Sunclaw?
I'm sorry, I was lost in thought there for a second.
No, it's all good. I was just saying we haven't seen Me Too headlines like this in how long? Shout out to Sleep.
Basically, since the start of this mess.
Thank you. Since Bill Cosby's vindication, Me Too have been silenced. Me Too and Time's Up have been silenced. They took a major blow, and they never addressed the fact that those women who they got brought to court were the major part of Cosby's overturning was those women never should have been able to be in court. That was a big push for Me Too. They took a major blow in that case. So here it is again, what I'm saying to men in the manosphere about our digital voice, that we must recognize that Me Too is sticking his head out again and blowing flames. And they're using these different things to make themselves popular again and to put themselves back in the lexicon. You have not had allegations like this, sexual allegations like this in the newspaper for months. It's been about the pandemic. It's been about Bill Cosby. But now Cuomo and this other white boy has us now talking about women, has us now talking about women. How is we talking about white women again? Overprivileged white women who have had nothing happen to him. Again, Cuomo, the king of New York, gave up his crown for sexless allegations. You know, I like the way that sounds, Sunclaw. Can we expound on that? Because I don't think it sounds so good. Sexless, meaning no sex took place with those 11 women. No penetration. Allegation, meaning not proven in a court of law. Not guilty, meaning the king of New York is innocent. Innocent. A king would not relinquish his crown when he is still in it. That's why he was fighting profusely to not resign. And what did we find in that sheet? What did we find in that story, she? Just like with this story. That's why I said, watch your taco. Sunclaw says onions have layers. What was underneath that story the whole time? The new king of New York is going to be who, she? The new king of New York is going to be a woman for the first time in American history. I say king of New York because New York is like California. California is the 5th largest economy in the globe. In the globe. Over all the biggest countries that you could think of. New York, similar. The governorship is like a king. Even when Trump tried to mandate certain things, you couldn't go over the governor. He couldn't go into Seattle. Remember, what was the name of that city in Seattle where they had lawlessness? Sunclaw, you remember some little zone?
Might have been Portland.
It was Portland, and they captured a little zone.
Portland is Oregon. I'm sorry.
It was in Washington, Seattle.
Seattle, Washington.
And Trump said, I can't go in. You guys don't want me to go in. You don't understand the Constitution. I need permission from the governor, the king. I'm teaching right now.
Hey, perfect. Since I missed out yesterday because of work, there was something that I was thinking about yesterday when you were talking about Cuomo.
Please share. I know you're familiar with that side.
The people who are accusing him, they left their positions in the governor's office, right?
Yes.
Because of said allegations.
Correct.
They had to leave.
She was trending yesterday.
So that means that they'll get their jobs back because the only reason they left their job was because he was harassing them. And now that he's gone, they can return to their rightful positions. I mean, they have absolutely no motivations to be making these accusations, do they?
No motivation. Sunclaw, onions have layers. Onions have layers. Man, let me throw my boy up. Everybody in the chat right now, I want to make sure that everybody know to go support and subscribe to my brother Sheep Stay Sleep TV. This is DS1. DS1 is a big YouTuber, and he has supported me, and he don't have to do that. And I truly appreciate his support. It means so much when YouTubers like yourself show up in smaller YouTubers chat and you let people know that you appreciate the content that I'm creating. I mean, as a content creator, it's very difficult. You know, it takes a lot of confidence and it's a thankless job. So when you have larger content creators who come in and throw the salute, it means a lot. So I want to say thank you to DS1, and I want to direct all of my listeners now and in the replay. Make sure you go subscribe to Sleep Stay Sleep TV. Check out that A Game lifestyle. A Game is an herbal supplement for Black men, created by Black men, marketed and sold by Black men. Come on, man. I don't, but DS1, if you in the chat, man, put your link in the chat, man. So everybody know you found it. Okay, cool. Put his link in the chat for me, please.
I put in an extra S in there. So my dyslexia is acting up too.
Hey, gang, look at Toya. Look, D. Look at D. Look, D, you lit, man. D, you lit. You lit, man. DS1, you lit, man. It's an A Game lifestyle, man. I found this brother after I had been preaching about anyone over 1,000 subs needs to have a product. I talked about how they putting man on everything. And now last time he was here, I told him how the Style OG has a commercial on Manscaped. DS1, I talked about that 2 months before Style OG actually got that commercial. So when I saw you and I saw how you was moving with the products, with the content, I'm like, this is what inspired the race to the top. Because I'm like, this brother is setting the pace, man, on how it is you do this.
Hold on, Perfect.
Go ahead.
So he's responsible for A Game, the stuff that's being advertised over there on Kendra's show.
Yeah,
You mean the one that has that advertisement about the dude going into the convenience store and going and buying that A Game?
Ain't that dope? I like that. I like that.
That was my favorite one of those ads, man.
Who else got that? Who else? I mean, isn't that setting the mark? Isn't that setting the mark of where we need to go? Like what I said is we need to, and Roger didn't like this, but I said we need a male version of Tasha K. Tasha K presents such compelling content that she's able to do her own commercials within her show. And that young lady who owns that vaginal wash has become a millionaire. Together, their partnership have blossomed. That company is a multi-million-dollar company via her what do they call it? Brand deal with Tasha K. And that's another great commercial on Tasha K with that brother with the beard. He said, I went out on a date and I went down on this girl and her yoni smelled so good. It was so fresh. I was like, what are you using? That commercial, that brother famous. That brother famous for eating some good yoni.
You know what? I was going to tell G this the other day because when we had that conversation last week, he was talking about how everybody on the panel had beards, you know.
Right, had beards.
I was going to tell him, you know what they call the beard?
What you call the beard? The tickler, right? No,
the flavor saver. Because when you're done, you still smell the yoni.
This is the flavor that we savor up here, neighbor. The flavor savers in the building. Look at Sunclaw, man. Sunclaw, you up to no good, man. You know what I'm saying? That's that Latino side. Them Latinos, man. I got a lot of Mexican family, man. You gotta watch them, man. Somebody black would never say no shit like that. You know what I'm saying? In public. The man said this shit on YouTube. He said the beard is a flavor saver. Woo! So Sunclaw, hold on.
And the reason I brought that up, because think about that ad now. The dude in the ad had a beard too.
Okay.
Think about it.
Hold on, Sunclaw. Are you saying to me that throughout the day that you may come back to that flavor, like you leaving it on your beard, so that later on throughout the day you may taste again? Is that what you're telling me, Sunclaw?
No, you see, the juices get on the beard, right? And through your body heat, it vaporizes and the aroma rises up into the nostrils. You see, this is why women love men with beards. You see, because those women want the men to think about them all day long.
Oh, the juice is vaporized. The juice is the juice. Hey yo, Stunclaw.
It's like a coochie oil candle. That's what it is.
I'm gonna make one. That's gonna be my next candle. Coochie candle on the way. Coochie candle on the way. What's that song by Janaea Cup? Pussy Fairy. Pussy Fairies on the way. Shout out to all the Pussy Fairies out there. One love to all the Pussy Fairies and the Pussy Fairies in the chat. Bring them juices on down. What's that? 357. Juicy, got them crazy. Got them crazy. Juicy. What's up, She? What you got?
Hey man, I couldn't get on earlier. My phone kept messing up. I was trying to get on when y'all was talking about the topic about LAVAR and everything. LAVAR Bart.
Oh, we still there. We still there. I thought you came up to share your story about the juices permeating through your beard and the mask. How's the mask work with that? With the juice on the beard, the flavor say. So the mask could be like a flavor catcher?
It's a strainer.
Oh shit. Shit. Look at you. That's like coochie candle oil on the way. Coochie on the way. Go ahead, Steve.
That mask is an excuse for breathing heavy. Oh yeah, man, this mask is so restrictive.
See, the guys who put the mask on after they done went down on the coochie, I don't know, because I wouldn't like that, because them the type of guys that sniff panties.
We had that talk, She. We sniff panties over here.
I don't sniff panties.
I resemble that accusation.
I tell some now, but I ain't sniffing no. That's some old school stuff right there. That's some old school stuff right there.
But She, you like feet? You smelling the feet? You smelling the feet?
Nah, I ain't smelling feet.
No feet, no panties?
Nah, I just drill and that's it.
Lumberjack in the building, let's go. She said, I drill and that's it, man. That's it. I can't
kissing toes, none of that.
None of that.
No licking the toes and all that. I don't do none of that. I just drill,
That's it. That's it.
All the front. Take care of the whole front. Now I told you that the tongue get wet down in the front, but that's about it. I don't go out the back door. I don't go to the back door.
No groceries.
I might go in between, where they call it the gooch. In between, you might hit the gooch, but ain't no back door.
Gooch, the taint. They call that the taint.
The gooch.
I ain't hitting the taint. Taint. The taint is tart. The taint is very tart. But since we didn't went there, man, what you got to have on LAVAR Ball? You were saying that you didn't think it was me too. So I went in after that statement. I qualified it by sharing check out my description. Everybody in the chat, man, make sure you read the description and check out my different social media, because I lay a groundwork for the discussion in the description so you can come up on the panel and speak intelligently about the conversation. In the description sheet, I talked about the video game with Candace Parker, the Activision video game company, and now linking it to this and a couple other things where Me Too have been pushing out this message again. Tell me your opinion on how it's not Me Too.
All right. Now, when it comes to this scenario, it's a little bit of feelings involved about LAVAR Burt, because you got to understand. Yeah, he's supposed to be hosting the show. He has the talent. He has the wit, and that's what the charismatic of the show needs. Someone that's intelligent, that can come up there and, keep the crowd informed, because, this show is based on a lot of thinkers. Even when people back in the day, in the hood, we watched Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah, your grandmother did. You watched it with your grandmother.
Yeah, you watch whatever they watch, and over time, you liked it. You got into it.
Yes.
I mean, hands up, shoot, I sit down there and watch Golden Girls. And why I gotta watch Golden Girls? But to the point, it was interesting over time. Betty was doing her thing. The old lady down there was going crazy. You have those moments where you had to force to sit and watch it, and over time, it kind of grew on you. With the situation with him not being host of the show, it's not because they were biased about him. It was because what happened? That one of the what's the guy who you just referred to? He's the caster of the show, or the director or somebody like that?
Mike Richards, the executive producer, he gonna be the next host.
Executive producer. See, that's the thing. If he's the executive producer, why pay somebody that money when he can get paid double? He's still and he's
You Borgin, she, you Borgin. Damn it. He was kind of going where we was going, Sunclaw. You know, like I said before, you guys make the show perfect, man. Cause she said something true. I was in my feelings because I love LaVar Burton. But both of you brothers took it to the money, man. I didn't even think about the money aspect. Like Sunclaw brought that up earlier, why would you pay two white co-hosts versus the one black co-host?
And you know what, Sheed? I forgot something. You can be an actor and have producer credits, and you get paid for both things.
And get paid.
I forgot about that.
Exactly. That's what he's doing. See, the only reason he brought Blossom in because why? She has the education, and it makes him look good because exactly. He don't know what he's doing. So he has it's like tennis. When you playing two-man tennis, the person in the back is really doing all the work. The person in the front is just catching the low balls. The high balls, the balls that go over, they're catching everything from the back. You rarely get low balls in the front. That's like volleyball. When the ball goes over your head, you don't run backwards to try to hit it. You let the person behind you get it. 9 times out of 10, that ball is always going to the back. See, that's the thing that you're not looking at. He's doing this to get 2 checks. Of course, he's going to have to give her a little money. He's going to cut her in because you got to understand, LAVAR is star power. You're not giving him an average check. And see, with her coming in, she can get a minimum check because she have money. He's pulling her on as a friend. So you can get this deal to where you wasn't supposed to get this gig, but I can pull some strings like I'm looking out for you. And in return, it makes me look good because we have what? Eye candy on the show. And then in this environment, it pays to put women in perspective. So he's getting it both ways. He's getting a check. He's getting the perspective of the audience. And in return, look at this. It is what it is. You know, why go ahead and pay him that money, LAVAR, bring him up when you can get the money yourself? You're ultimately, if you bring this to the all the panel, everybody, they're gonna like this idea because it's never been done. 2 co-hosts of Jeopardy?
But
wow.
It wasn't his idea, though.
Huh?
It wasn't his idea.
Well, that's what we think.
But it don't matter who idea it was, but the point of it is it's being done. That's what I'm saying. Even if he brought it up or somebody else brought it up, the whole thing is he made it to where he can get in.
Correct.
He wants to step out in the role to make more money. So what perfect way to host, right?
To present this tandem.
And also not to have a black man in that position.
And also because he probably knew, because from his background with The Price is Right, he probably knew that they didn't want to go with a brother.
Bingo.
I could kill 2 birds with 1 stone, like you said with Blossom. Blossom presents as a double minority, so we can still be diverse, and we don't have to hire this black man. Because, like Sunclaw said earlier, what does is Jeopardy really a game show? Does Jeopardy really represent that? Like, and even G came on and said that Alex Trebek never told a joke.
Yep.
It was a very serious format. It's seen and respected around the world. It would put a black man in a light of intelligence and respect. I've brought up before, and someone piggybacked on it recently about, I don't know who was talking about, but I talked about Billy D. Williams. I bring it up a lot, and I like that. I like when my sentiments are echoed in other places. But my thing about Billy D. Williams, where I bring it up, is when it's my whole thing about Cosby and black feminism, as I said, is we couldn't even, and Warren Moon, we talked about that one time before too. We couldn't even be cool on TV. We couldn't even be masculine on TV before Billy D. Williams. That was what such a big deal was about the Lando Calrissian character. Because it was the first time in a major film that you saw a black man come across as a leader and cool. Billy D was synonymous for that. And then Warren Moon, we only had one black quarterback. So black patriarchy and this whole thing, I always get upset with that because I grew up in a time where I knew that it was still an Emmett Till type of movement where my dad, my grandfather couldn't walk around with their head high. That didn't come until after Billy D. Williams.
I watched that movie One Night in Miami.
Oh, yeah.
It was a great movie. And the thing that really got me was it Walter Payton. No, was it? No. Who was the football player? Was it Walter Payton they had did in the scene?
I never seen the movie.
I think no, Jim Brown. Jim Brown. I'm tripping.
Oh, yeah, because Walter Payton was too young.
Yeah, Jim Brown. So the thing about it was he walked up to this guy's house, older white guy. He's from down there where he's from in Georgia. Everybody's proud of him. He's like, yeah, man, everybody's proud of you, man. You're doing good. You're a good football player, man. And so I guess the daughter of somebody came to the house. Like when he was celebrity status, getting ready to retire. And daughter comes to the door, tells the man, you need to go ahead and move that dress or whatever. Woo, woo, woo. And so he goes and say, well, you want me to give you a hand? He said, hey, Jim, we don't allow niggas in the house, and walked away. I was like, whoa. Like this guy, like just gave him so much accomplishment, like just praise of how he put the city on, how he make Georgia look, and how like a star athlete he is. But couldn't he, I'm talking about even with his family, the guy knew his family, I guess, worked for his family, everything. Talked about how good the family was and all that. But in the end, couldn't even let the man in the house because the rules are the rules. No niggas allowed.
Boundaries. Ain't that something?
Hey, even if he placated, let's say the guy wasn't even racist, but those are the rules.
Those are the rules. Oh, that's America. Like what's that song? Childish Gambino. This is America.
Yep.
This is America. It's kind of like with Thought and what G says a lot, and I like when they give that perspective. Thought and G will come on the panel and say it's working as it's designed. It's like you guys are being, like you say, she feelings, y'all in your feelings, but it's working as it's designed. This is why it's supposed to happen. I love when G always says that because sometimes, I'll get into the fact that I've uncovered some knowledge and then like blah, 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 blah. But he'll be like, nah, it's supposed to work like this. And I think that's what you just presented right now, That's a hell of a observation, you and Sunclaw, that this is being worked by design. They are gaining a lot.
And it's beautiful, really.
It really
because it's not just any double minority. This is a double minority that you can be called some atrocious names if you criticize the selection.
It ties our hands. I mean, we here on YouTube with a few people watching, but it ties the hands of anybody able to say anything about this. What can you say? You're going to say something about a woman hosting Jeopardy? You cancel. You're going to say something about a small hat hosting Jeopardy? You cancel. It eliminates the conversation about LeVar Burton. That sucks, right?
Well, the thing of it is, he's an intelligent person, so he will always have work. And the thing of it is, we should have knew when you have certain positions to be filled. That's even like what Obama. I say they gave us Obama because it was a point to where they want to shut us up.
Right.
Let's give a little to get a lot, because just like this, we're gonna be praising him for the next 40 years until like far as our grandkids, like I don't know, to be honest, these Z's or whatever the next generation, they're stepping up to the point where they not falling for the foolishness. Even with these young Z's now, when we talk about relationships, they was like, man, I'm getting a bad deal like this. I might as well just stay to myself. Don't get married. Even to the point of education. See, this is what I always talk about. We spend so much time trying to get the women to get to our page and fall in line. You know what those guys are doing? They're just living life.
Man,
They're taking trips with each other. They kicking it, going to the club, going to sports bars, hanging out. They living life. We still trying to conform concrete into a mold while they're over there with clay building what they want to build. Because
you
they're
know
not
what?
they're not trying to conform this concrete. They have clay in their hand.
You
See,
talking
we
about
steady.
SYSBM? That's SYSBM. I said to my Morris partner, me and him was talking about
It
these
ain't even
women.
about SYSBM. See, this is the biggest thing about SYSBM. It's it's the hidden secret about SYSBM. I tell guys, SYSBM is to save yourself. It's not to
Correct.
go get a foreign chick. See,
That's not
people
what I'm
start
saying either.
deflating. Now, I
That's not.
understand that, but I'm saying a lot of people get deflated with that. That's passport. Now,
I'm talking about what Jay Bone said about the brothers he knows that make that kind of money who are not racist, who are looking for functionality. What you're
yeah,
talking about right now is the ability to build. I'm just looking for a functional partner. And these 20, 30-year-old, I'm not really concerned about what race she is or if she's overweight. I need functionality. I need someone that I can do. I, shit. I need someone that will allow me to do what you just described, that will allow me to build. I said to my Morris partner, we both have been dealing with issues with these women. And I said, bro, I need this shit to be on autopilot. And it's like he intelligent. I look up to him and he got quiet and he's like, he really felt me. That's why I want to interrupt you because I've had to talk about this. I said, bro, I need this shit to be on autopilot because I feel God moving in my life and I can't be I can't be bogged down with the relationship shit. I need to I need man, I need the relationship to be on autopilot. We in love. We in love. We committed. I can't be doing arguments and fulfilling her and like we got to be fulfilled and guiding ourselves and now we got to be building, doing the Alonzo Hall shit, learning financial. This is what Love Dorsey be talking about. You know what I'm saying? It really hurt me that I wasn't moving this way in my relationship and in my life. Love Dorsey was saying, y'all not in good relationships. You don't have a credit card. You don't have your own business. You don't have all these other stuff that you need in America to have a good life. You too busy worried about what the bitch doing and arguing with the bitch. I'm like, I was like, brother, this shit need to be on autopilot. And he looked at me like, bro, you right. I said, if this relationship, she love me, I love her, and we don't have to do the relationship shit, then we would have businesses and homes. We could be doing this shit that she is talking about. This shit need to be on autopilot, bro.
let me tell you something real quick. When it come down to it, BGS said this earlier when me and him were talking. I was talking about the situation with my wife. He said, "You you're not gonna have a combative woman because she already comes submissive. It's either you're submissive or you're not. There's no in between. You
Wow.
mess with a woman that's combative, that wants to be the ruler, that wants to step, you're condemning her.
Yeah, good. You know what, that's where I'm at now. That's where I'm at. And that was the hardest thing to accept. That was the hardest thing to accept. She dropped off. G, it's on you. What you got? Little bro, go ahead. Oh, Hammond, I wanted him to talk before he dropped off. Them brothers be working hard, man. Lazy boy. So I got something up now. I'm going to go to another topic real quick, and we could jump back into that because I knew that topic. That's why I don't have a lot of topics today. That's why, because I knew I keep saying LeVar Ball. The LeVar Burton topic is a topic that we could talk about for the whole show because it touches on so many areas of the manosphere. But go ahead, G, get your bid in before they kick you out. Can you talk? G, mic check. What about you, She? Mic check, She, 1, 2.
Yeah, okay. So I'm back. But
Okay,
this
cheating.
is what me and him we talked about. You know, and the point of it is, like I was telling the guys about the prenup, and the guys were having a situation where they weren't understanding until they actually got the concept what I was saying. I shouldn't have to before I talking about getting married, I shouldn't have to bring up, man, I got to get her to sign a prenup because I don't want to get screwed. No, I shouldn't be having that level of thought when I'm getting married to my wife. The prenup should be coming in like, yeah, baby, we're gonna get married. Let's go down to, run the list of what we need to do for the wedding. And the prenup is in there as one of the things. It's not something that the first thing I say is, I need you to sign this prenup just in case something happened down the line. Nah, that's a given. Be like, hey, go, baby, hey, go the prenup. Go ahead and sign that. So we can go ahead with the wedding and everything else because it benefits both of us. That's the conversation you're having with your wife or your girlfriend. I mean, your soon to be wife, but girlfriend. If she say, nah, I'm not signing a prenup, she's not the one for you. If you bring up prenup and she has an issue with prenup, then that's not the one for you. What I said was from the jump, if me and you having a conversation about getting married and I bring up prenup, I shouldn't even have to worry about prenup until almost to the wedding when I can say, here go prenup, sign this. She says, no problem. If any rebuttal, if I got to bring up a prenup before, I got some type of doubt about you. See, that's like getting married is a given with the prenup. If I ain't got nothing, you ain't got nothing, we both coming into the relationship bummied out. You already know down the line, it's going to be a raw deal when you get a divorce. So that's why you got to put keys involved in the prenup because you're superseding into the future. I'm going to be a millionaire. So what we need to do is, if you help me build my business in this millions, you get 50-50 split, easy. If you didn't, 80-20.
Put it in the
You just my
contract.
wife.
Yeah.
That's the point. See, a lot of guys, they want to go for this. By all means, my wife, if me and my wife get a divorce, ain't no telling how it's going to go. But the point of it is having an understanding when I get a divorce from you or you get a divorce, however whatever comes first, we're both coming to the understanding that we both built something together. I don't want to leave you with nothing, just like you should have the mindset of not leaving me with nothing. That's why I don't agree with people talking about Drake wife shouldn't have got something. She should get something, but to the degree of how much money she should get, it should be a percentage, not just some large amount. She stubbed her own foot when she ran into there and grabbed the money out the account. See, that shows what she was in there for, the money.
Right.
So that's why she got less than what she was supposed to get.
I don't mind how much she got per month and all that. I just felt like it was wrong that she was gonna get paid for the rest of her life. In America,
and that's another thing.
you
Yeah.
don't pay for something. You don't pay for something that you don't own no more. If I'm paying for the pussy, then it's my pussy. If I'm paying for the car, I get to drive the car. In America, you don't pay for something that you don't get to possess. That's just not how it works in America. And you've told this man he got to pay $300 a month for pussy that he can't touch and fuck no more.
Hey, stipulations. I would go ahead and say you get a certain amount, and there you go. Just like Bezos, the way Bezos had his wife, the way
and it's over. And it's over.
Oh yeah, just pay him one flat fee,
and it's over. That's it.
I'm not paying you monthly. I'm not doing all this because once he paid her off, look what happened when the COVID happened. He damn near got all that money back and some.
And some. He did. He did.
So
almost making you think that he divorced her for a reason, that he knew that this was going to come. Yeah. And he didn't. And he want to share the windfall with her because she probably would have divorced him after this.
But it was her doing. See, he slept with her best friend, and that's how the divorce was initiated.
I did not know that.
It was the stupid part on her by going ahead and leaving, because in the end, she would have got way more if she would have waited. Because, that's the thing. Like I always talk about, most people don't know marriages to the death do you part. Most people look at marriages 20 years, 50 years.
Right.
Or I don't want to be with you no more, so I'm leaving right now. See,
it's extremely foolish. It was extremely. Yep. That's the new age thinking. And what she did is she gave up a legacy. I would much rather be a Bezos than whatever the hell she
get too far. I wanted to mention something strange that kind of occurred to me. But this is actually the reason for it. You see how well, I'm not going to say all, a lot of women deny the existence of a wall or of the wall. Why do you think alimony exists?
Because she's
We had
invested all those. Go ahead.
we had an overabundance of bag ladies. That's why this whole legislation had changed. When we were kids, right now under the freeway is all men. But the song Erykah Badu, and if you look at movies from the 80s, like the Ghostbusters, it was always what digging through the trash? An old what? An old woman.
Uh-huh.
It was always an old woman digging through the trash. You had the bag lady. Does anybody understand why we had bag ladies? Go ahead, son Claude. Let them know why we had bag ladies and we don't have bag ladies no more.
Now, with alimony, it was assumed back in the day, and this is also one of the conditions of alimony. If you get remarried, the alimony is cut off. If you get remarried. In some states, it's 10 years. If you're married 10 years in California, you pay for life.
Wow.
But it was assumed that if this woman was divorced, she would not be able to get married as easily as a man can get married. And in fact, there's a chance that she would never get married again. Because back in the day, who was going to marry a woman who had children? And not just that, wasn't at the peak of her beauty anymore.
Max. That's my sunshine.
And what you're saying is the government said that we don't want these people to be a burden. So you as the father or the ex-husband, it's your responsibility. It's the same thing that's happening with fathers taking care of kids that's not theirs, but the court say,
but wait,
you was with more. Go ahead.
In the event that the woman was having an affair, guess what?
No.
She would not be entitled to alimony, especially if you were able to provide proof of it. That was at fault divorce.
I was going to say,
change that.
California, no fault divorce.
And when they changed that, you can catch her sleeping with your daddy and your brother, both inside at the same time.
You got to pay her for the rest
with
of
the high five, giving each other a high five in the picture. And you still will have to pay alimony with the new terms that exist as they do now. So they like to say, oh, the wall is a lie. The wall don't exist yet. You still accept alimony? Maybe we need to remove alimony because it's perpetuating a notion of the existence of a wall that doesn't exist. So by eliminating alimony, we are eliminating the wall.
It's misogynistic, right? By eliminating alimony, you eliminate misogyny, right? Because women don't need that, right?
Exactly.
And me too, because what you've described is an old era, right? Where women actually needed men to take care of them, where they couldn't get jobs. And if I was a woman in this era, I would be offended by that type of mathematics and notions, right?
They should be.
They should be. Why would I need a man
Theoretically.
Go ahead, Pastor, man. Give me your 2 cents, man. And Pastor, that was a great show, man. Everybody in the chat, man, make sure you go subscribe to Pastor $40. Pastor had an awesome show today where he exposed, I would say, like the 5th arm of the government. I've talked about the 4th arm of the government and these new mandates where they're using corporations to initiate things that are not law. No one has voted. There's not been vigorous debate for any mandate. Typically, we vote on laws. So Pastor $40 presented to me like one thing we left out, son Claude, and that's the clergy in the 504c3 and how the clergy has been used as an extension of the government and here as lay, specifically the Democratic Party. And he really exposed that with Creflo Dollar today and how their sites are looking like BLM sites and the talking points mimic BLM talking points.
Yes, sir. Thank you for that, brother. Thank you for that prop.
For sure, man. You deserve a great show, bro.
Thank you, man. But the thing about this is theoretically women should be offended by all the things we're talking about. The reality of it is they don't have that money. They can be it's all these movements is about money. If you even look at what I was talking about today, it's all about money. And still the quickest way to get money to become rich is to be married or be tied to a man. So they're not going to take those provisions away because that's the quickest way to unmask money is through men. I mean, it just is what it is.
But what about their image?
What about their image?
I can't speak for their image, brother. I can just speak for the fastest way to grab the bag, and that's through men.
I think we could do it on vanity. Just because they want to be vain, they might do it just out of vanity. Hell, they've done a whole bunch of other things that didn't benefit them, that hurt them and that hurt their families. So maybe this is one thing that they might be willing to do.
I just put in the chat some of the details, y'all. I was bringing up the details again just in case because people start talking about a bunch of stupid shit. This only really got talked about here. I didn't really see this broken down anywhere else. The fact that and Sunclaw, thank you for giving that if you're married in California for more than 10 years, you pay for your life. I'm gonna say that 2 more times because it takes 3 times. If you're married in California for longer than 10 years, you pay spouse support for the rest of the bitch life. One more last time. If you get married in California and you stay married for longer than 10 years, then you will pay for that pussy for the rest of the life of that woman, regardless if it's your pussy or not. So some of the details, Dr. Dre to pay ex-wife Nicole Young $3.5 million a year in spousal support amid divorce. Dr. J will pay a hefty sum in spousal support to his admitted ex-wife, ordered to pay ex-wife $3.5 million a year, $293,000 a month, which adds up to $3.5 a year, starting in August. That's this month, y'all. So this is first month's payment. Oh, that's nasty. Per the document, the payments will continue in a like manner until the party receiving support remarries or enters into a new domestic partnership, death, or either party, or until further order of the court. Remarries or enters into a new domestic partnership or death of either party. Y'all catch that? Additionally, Dr. Dre will also continue to pay the expenses for their Malibu Pacific. I didn't know that. A source tells ET support. The support order is consistent with that. He has already been paying since the initial separation, is an infraction of what Nicole and her lawyers demanded.
You almost have to break up with a woman and find your replacement. You got to find your stunt double. You got to break up with her and find a replacement for yourself at the same time. Yeah, but we know what, baby? It's over between me and you. But my best friend that you always like, here you go. Yeah, you almost got to do it like that. You almost got to replace yourself just to help yourself.
You hear this? At the same time, she argued Dr. Dre should pay for all of her expenses. I did not. So $3.5 million to the win, y'all. $3.5 million to the win. It's all I win do is win Wednesday. That's what she did. $3.5 million to the win. Plus, Dr. Dre has to pay for all of her expenses in the matter during the marriage. And in January, Dr. Dre agreed to pay Nicole $500,000 in attorney fees.
Yeah, he has to pay the attorney fees.
It's crazy. This crazy. This is the conversation. It's not about a daughter. It's not about a homeless daughter. $3.5 million for the rest of his life. Black Guru in the building.
You know what I'm thinking about? Perfect. You know she's an attorney.
Black Guru. She's an attorney.
Yeah, she is an attorney.
I did not know she was an attorney.
Yeah, she's an attorney.
She could have represented herself.
She did at first.
She's probably going to get paid commission off of that money that Dre's paying that office.
Oh my God.
Now, she was representing herself at first until the case got too overwhelming. That's why she went and got an expert, because she know the legal processes and procedures. But to get for the money grab, She has to have somebody that specializes in that area of expertise. See, it's one thing to just go ahead and present the
Okay.
case and
Oh,
all that.
okay. Let's cut the shit here. First of all, thanks for having me on the
For
panel.
sure.
Uh, this woman started this process 10 years ago. Minimum
They were married
10
24
years
years.
ago.
They was
Real
married
talk.
24 years, y'all. Shit.
Minimum. Everything from private investigators to experts and divorce and marital settlement. She started this process a while ago. And look, I'm going to take a position adversarial to that of most brothers in this environment, but it's for instructional purposes. So you may not appreciate what I say, but you will appreciate it, I think, from the perspective over the long term. And that is, again, this woman started this process a long time ago. If Dre did not know that, if Dre did not have a private investigator on this bitch at least 15, 20 years ago, that's his fault. That's his mistake. He has too much money for him to not know what was going down at least a decade or so ago. And I would say in general, if you are a man of any significant resources, and especially, obviously, given the scale of Andrew Young, aka Dr. Dre, if you don't know what your wife is getting ready to pull 10 years before she pull it, you're being negligent. You have too much money to not know. You have too many ways in which, because of your resources, to monitor her, monitor the behavior of any people who might factor into what's going on. You have too much resources for this to have ever been any sort of surprise to you. Now, you guys mentioned that he married this woman in California. What in the actual fuck did he do that for?
Man, I have no idea.
Why would you be a wealthy, sane man and marry a bitch in the state of California?
He should have known. Look what I got up here on the screen, Black Guru, to your point. I'm glad you said that. And thank you for showing up, Elder, and giving us that knowledge. And I believe brothers can benefit from that. I've missed red flags, and I think we can really benefit from having brothers really take a look at these red flags and take responsibility for some of the things that's happened to themselves in their life. And some of the red flags, as you were reading, I went into the article a little bit deeper, and the article shows us red flags. It says all the way back to 2000. So Black Guru said he knew 10 years ago. Actually, Black Guru, there were signs going back 20 years.
Yes, of course there were.
But look at the timing, though. If she had left him at the event of the first occasion, she would have only been married to him
for 5 years.
For 3 or 4 years, and not the 10 years needed to cash in.
So how do you not blame him for being in the position he's in right now in light of what you're presenting there?
That's a hell of a perspective that I haven't. I'm glad that we brought this topic up again, because I was educating brothers on you got to pay for the rest of your life. But you're right. Even in 2016, look at what happened in 2016. Punched her in the face, in the head. So to your point, Elder, she was documenting, extraneously documenting all of these events for this time.
And look, you guys want to defend Andrew Young, aka Dr. Dre. I don't defend that motherfucker at all.
I don't defend him either. And Black
not in the least bit.
I think you had mentioned that she was somebody else's girl.
I don't defend him for the wayward daughter. I don't defend him for the son who committed suicide.
Nope.
I don't defend him for any of that shit.
Nope.
Black Guru, wasn't she with a singer or somebody or an NBA player?
No, she was with a Laker, Sadell 3.
So he stole her from another man.
She was an up and coming hoe from the jump.
Right.
So why is it that he thought that a woman who would leave a relationship is somebody who's worthy of marriage?
and that he's had problems with since the beginning.
You guys want to
emotions.
defend this guy. Snoop has been with some chick that he found back in high school.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So this ain't about you all want to defend Dre. How come Snoop's wife ain't dry fucking him up the ass the way this woman is?
Black Guru, we not defending Dre over here.
I'm just, because I mean, it's a whole lot of Dre defending going on in this environment, and I'm like, I ain't with that shit.
No, we're not defending Dr. Dre. Like I said when I first started to talk about this again, I'm glad it came up because I feel like the conversation hasn't been talked about in this way in educating men on the divorce settlement. I focused on the divorce decree and what this brother is going to have to pay so that people are because I don't think men know. Like, I didn't even know, and I live in California where Son Claude told me that if you're married for more than 10 years, you got to pay for the rest of your life.
Yeah, you done.
I didn't know that.
Fact, in some cases, it's even less than 10 years. They round it up sometimes.
Look, there is one option if I'm Dre that I would take, and it all depends on just kind of how I kind of view the hereafter and all that kind of stuff. But there is one option he can take here. I won't say what it is, but there is one option he can. Look, I ain't letting no woman be in my pocket for the next 30 years. That shit ain't gonna happen. Somebody who out of my house fucking nah, bro. Nah, that ain't happening.
And Black Guru, and back to your point.
Here, hold on, Son Claude. Here it is, Black Guru. Here go right here. It says right here, further document the payments will continue in a like manner until the party receiving support remarries or enters into a new domestic partnership. And this is the part
that ain't happening, man.
Or here we go. Or death. Or death,
exactly.
Or death of either party, or
exactly.
Go ahead.
Look, man, I can't be an 80-year-old dude and you getting that fucking $3 million from me, man. You know what I'm saying?
Pull the plug.
I can't be that dude, man. It ain't even really funny. Right? I mean, we laughing about it, but it ain't even really funny. I can't be that dude.
It's slavery.
But this is going back to something that Black Guru had mentioned.
I'm going to tell her, look, we had children together. I love you. I ain't going to be on the hook with you for the next 40 years. So let's figure out something righteous. Otherwise, we both are going to suffer.
Oh, OJ.
Best believe I'm going to suffer, but you going to suffer too.
OJ style.
Yeah.
And Black Guru, he had more reason than the normal person to have people investigated and have people's backgrounds looked into.
Yes.
He was dealing with Suge Knight and other people of his ilk.
I mean, he is stupid. Well, put it this way. The anecdotal evidence suggests that he has been stupid on multiple levels.
Right.
On multiple levels. So no, I'm not empathetic to him at all. Look, I'm not for no woman being able to leech off of a man for 40 years. And like I say, I have already expressed how I would likely handle that situation. But he has been stupid on so many levels. And in this rush to defend him, look, I compare him to his contemporaries. None of his contemporaries are in the same situation. I don't see Snoop. I don't see 50 Cent.
Ice Cube.
I don't see Drake or I don't see any of them people in this situation. Hell no. No.
So Black Guru, earlier we started off with LAVAR Burton. And basically for the last couple of days in my description I've been talking about, and I'm glad she is still here. I've been talking about how I feel like the Me Too movement is rearing its ugly head again. So I've talked about the Candace Parker being on the video game. You were here for that. I talked about how what they did next was they attacked California feds suing Activision Blizzard, which makes the biggest, largest video game in the world, in the country, which is that Call of Duty and a couple other popular games.
Right.
The men there said they would stop making the game until women had equal pay disparity. So now LAVAR Burton does not receive Jeopardy job, but what they do instead is they hire two individuals, one white male and one small hat female. The white male comes with 6 to 7 Me Too allegations. So the trending topic today is not the black man, the sophisticated black man losing the job. The trending topic today is all of the sexless, baseless crimes that this white man had been in. And what I've posited today is that the Me Too movement has moved again to put themselves in the forefront, because allegations like this have not been in the newspaper for months since Bill Cosby has been vindicated. And also Cuomo yesterday, the king of New York, stepped down because of sexless allegations. So I would like to get your input on you could talk about Cuomo too, but this whole Me Too, I'm trying to encapsulate these events with Me Too coming back alive.
Well, with respect to Cuomo, look, there's a very common occurrence of the liberals eating their own. And eventually, see, what you got to understand about liberals, and particularly the females, they hate men with the power of 1,000 suns. They hate all men. They especially hate the men who would dare propagate themselves as being feminists or being liberals. So Cuomo was on the shit list. I mean, nobody gave more money to the Hillary Clinton campaign than Harvey Weinstein. Nobody ever talks about that. You know, so most of the men who go down, if you think about it, most of the men who have gone down on this Me Too shit have been Democrats, have been liberals. See, what these guys don't realize is these women hate you because you're men. You know, and whether you're Democrat or Republican, conservative, liberal, you basically embolden and empower them by siding with their insanity. And so, you know, what happened probably with Cuomo, you know, and I'm old enough to remember his father, Mario Cuomo, very charismatic guy, probably should have become president of the United States, but probably had a history similar to that of his son, where he was this swarthy, charismatic Italian guy in New York who probably was fucking a lot of hoes. And back in the day, you couldn't really get, you know, Bill Clinton kind of maneuvered around this shit, but you know, this guy's in New York City. This guy's in New York City. He's gone through all the rungs of political office. His father is Mario Cuomo, famed governor, very famous governor of New York, the state of New York, should have been probably president of the United States. He himself married a fucking Kennedy. That's just how they're rolling. He married Robert Kennedy's, one of Robert Kennedy's daughters. That's how he rolled. So he was way up there in the aristocracy, the political the democratic political aristocracy. So he was supposed to fuck all the women around him. You know, I mean, real talk. Any somewhat decent type female, young female around him, he had been fucking them women going back to like the 70s.
This is America.
Real talk.
This is America.
I mean, you know, so he accumulated a history. And there was a time in which that history was palatable, was acceptable, was predictable. You know, like I said, Bill Clinton engaged in a similar sort of history. But the reality is, these women who were smiling at him, he was filling them up, he was fucking them, they hated him. He didn't know they hated him, but they hated him. The same thing happened to Cosby. The exact same thing happened. These bitches smiling in your face. They looking for opportunities. They taking all the quaaludes. They taking all the drinks. They being flown out, right? They in the 5-star restaurant and hotels, and they getting the guest spots on whatever TV show. You know, same bitches, same kind of. See, we're in this weird kind of place, and I hope I'm not rambling.
No.
But we're in this weird kind of place where we have allowed the fuckery of females at a scale that most of us don't really know, because most of you all don't have the perspective of history. Look, these women were using their pussies as credit cards. They have used their pussies as credit cards for over 50 years.
Yep.
They have gotten into parties. They have gotten in the events. They've gotten in Academy Award ceremonies. They've gotten into, boardrooms. They've gotten into all kinds of shit. They've used their pussies. And then 20, 30, 40 years later, now they get to pretend like they're virtuous people.
Right.
But
they have used their pussies as fucking credit cards all over the fucking world. All over the fucking country. Vegas trips. All this shit. We talk about women being flown out today. Bitches have been flown out since the 50s and the 60s.
Exactly. I got a quick question for you.
And all them women that were pointing the finger at Cosby, all them bitches, white, black, yellow, whatever, were being flown out. Like you all talk about now.
So, Black, there used to be a brothel inside the White House. Do you think the White House of them men was doing what was it 4.0 was doing? Because when JFK got shot,
JFK was fucking everybody.
And they were hoes surrounded.
The White House was a whole oasis during the Kennedy administration. It was the least kept secret. What were these chicks? They even made a movie about it, where it was some young hoes, at the White House at all times, that both John and Robert were running through all them hoes. You remember these guys shared Marilyn Monroe. They were dapping and each other banging Marilyn. It's just amazing to me what we have allowed these women to get away with, the revision of history that we have collectively allowed these hoes to get away with over the 50, 60 years. They have been using their pussy as all manner of trump card, the Joker card, all types of shit they've been doing with their box. And then 30, 40, 50 years later, they get to pretend like they were decent, virtuous people, and motherfuckers went along. The men, you guys went along with the shit. That's the sad part about it.
The men at Activision Blizzard walked out. The men at Activision Blizzard said, we're not going to finish making Call of Duty 4 or 5 until the women get equal compensation. Okay. The women don't play the game.
In a righteous world, you all get together and handle those dudes.
Man.
In a righteous world.
And
in a righteous world, a private conversation is had with those dudes, and they change their position there. Because what's happening is, let's look at what's going on with Marvel, with Star Wars. The geeks are selling y'all out.
Okay, wait. Okay,
they fucking selling y'all out.
Okay, wait. Let's go to a different topic real quick. Since we're gonna go to comic books, let's go to comic books real quick. Cause this is on the did y'all see my topic today? So check this out, you guys. Check this out. Anybody want to read, or y'all want me to read? Anybody want to read?
I'll read it if you're referring to in the latest issue of Batman Urban Legends. Tim Drake parentheses, the third Robin, in parentheses, is asked on a date by his old friend Bernard. God damn. And he happily
Are there any
and he
Batman fans
happily
on the
accepts
panel?
and further explore his I mean the geeks have sold y'all out.
This ain't
They
fake.
sold y'all out.
This ain't
Are,
fake.
are there any Batman fans on the panel right now?
Come on.
Who's not a Batman fan?
Okay, so I can't say what I was going to say then. I'm going to shut up.
Hold on, but Black, you were right, man. The Revenge of the Nerds have sold us up.
They have sold y'all out all across the board. They've sold out. Look, damn it, I saw Star Wars on the Friday in 1976. You know, so what I saw what has happened to the Star Wars franchise. I mean, they've sold you all out.
Gerald, you need to stop.
They have surrendered to this coven of females and their cohorts and their sycophants who are dead set on or either adapting or crushing any and all men who just happen to have an operative set of testicles.
Yeah. I said what I'm talking about today with these topics, and when I said earlier before you came, Black Guru, is the gynocracy is the biggest bully on the block. What I think about the logic behind the bully, like Black Guru, why not just give us a female co-host? Why give us, you know what I mean? Why is this? Why give us a male co-host and a female? They're the biggest bully on the block. Why do this with Robin? Why not just come out and say he's gay? Why force us, heterosexual males and teenagers going through their growth of sexuality,
I gotta step in now. Y'all can't keep going with this.
Go ahead.
Y'all can't keep on going with this. Damn it. I gotta say this.
Well, Batman and Robin, come on, man.
Y'all gonna have a tight young man in spandex costume who hangs out with the rich bachelor who has no female in his life. Do I have to go any further? In fact, it's an insult that they had to come out with this thing.
But here's my say. You know, I'm old enough to remember the TV show Batman and Robin, and Adam West, God rest his soul, the late great Adam West. He and I forget the name of Robin. Adam West, who died not that long ago, lived well into his 90s. Adam West fucked every female in Hollywood.
Wow.
Every one of them. Like legendary type status. Running through holes. All, him and the Robin dude, damn, I forget his real name. They used that Batman thing to like gargantuan proportions. And like I say, the late great Adam West died just recently, well into his 90s. So this motherfucker operated on that 60s level like nobody else's business. So I get what you're saying. A lot of that shit was very weird, the way particularly Batman and Robin was presented. And I think at some point that was kind of realized. And I think that's why I kind of, over time, there was kind of a separation of Batman and Robin, or there was more of a distinguishment of those characters. But yeah, that shit was weird back in the day. It was weird. It was weird back in the day. But Batman, the character of Batman, particularly as he evolved, there's no superhero like at the level of Batman. I mean, because Batman was like the only one of them that was like a real guy. He was the only one in the Justice League and whatever, like was like a real guy. and that was always, and I think that's the reason why Batman has had an indelible impression in the cultural zeitgeist beyond some of the weirdness of certain facets of it. And I don't disagree with what you're saying. The whole Robin thing. I remember when I was a kid watching Batman and Robin. I always thought that was just strange. But you know, when I kind of later learned about, you know, Adam West being like a player, that kind of changed my perspective of that a little bit. Because if you recall, the way Batman was presented, Batman was fucking Catwoman,
That's
like
right.
the white Catwoman and the black. He was fucking
all the female bad guys.
And,
all of the female bad guys.
What's her name? Damn, what's that white bitch name? She was a badass bitch. What was her name? Damn, what was her name? Julie Newmar. You know, so when you saw the actual show on television, when I saw the actual show on television as a kid, I was watching this as like a 6, 7, 8 years old. My view of Batman was not, I didn't really think about the whole Robin aspect as much as I saw like a lot of fine hoes and spandex, and Batman was kissing up on them. That was my initial introduction to Batman back in the 60s.
Those undertones of that show were really, really weird. And now that I'm really reflecting back on it, that scene of when they're climbing up the wall, one behind the other one, holding that rope in front of them,
You know what?
and having that rope go between their legs, you know that's kind of funky.
Check this out.
You know
check this out. It says, check this out.
I ain't even gonna push back.
No. This is my thing too. Listen to this. When you talk about the evolution, this is my thing. My issue with this. It says Batman's third Robin, Tim Drake, has served as severed off and on as a Cape Crusader sidekick for more than 30 years. In the latest comic, Batman Urban Legends Volume 6, Tim realizes that he has romantic feelings for his male friend, Bernard. However, Megan Fitzmartin, the writer, stated there are no labels attached to his sexuality just yet, saying
but the first Robin, Nightwing, what's his name?
I forget.
He was like, in the comic books, he was like the biggest whoremonger ever. Nightwing was running through everybody, and there wasn't no men.
But the thing that bothers me is that they're not giving it a title, that they're saying he's figuring it out. I feel like they're targeting our teenage boys.
Yeah.
You know what? They could have had him date a girl and say he's still figuring it out. And
Right.
it still would have played well.
Correct.
Well, I mean, look, they're not being shy about what their agenda is.
Oh no, not at all.
And the reality is that they have so many resources and so many both sort of material as well as cultural media resources on their side that I don't envy the father of a young son today.
Let me tell you,
but
let me tell you, they've done this with Bert and Ernie. I just bought my son the new Scooby-Doo.
They did
Scooby-Doo is not Shaggy and Scooby, man and dog. They have a romantic relationship. I had to turn that shit off. I could not watch that shit with my son.
Peanut butter?
Yes, they have Shaggy and Scooby have a romantic relationship in the new movie, man. They did it with
Wait a minute. What you say, bro?
I said peanut butter.
Come on, man. Come on.
Come on. Sun put you on timeout, Sun Claw. Because that's what the lonely fat bitches get the dogs in the peanut butter. I ain't never heard of a man using a dog in the peanut butter. We're not going to discuss that here. So we're not going to discuss that.
Man.
We're not going to discuss that. Not at all. Not at all. Go ahead, She.
You talking about peanut butter because you know that's fudge packing right there.
Oh my!
That's all I thought he was talking about. I was like, what the hell?
The Perfect Timing podcast does not agree with any of the statements made by Sun and She. We hear. Please never use that terminology on my podcast ever again. Look at Bruce. Somebody said deceased. God, dog. Why you do that to me? I haven't even heard that term in like 10, 15 years. I'm gonna be honest. I don't even know if we can say that. Can we say that?
Yeah, I mean they're not
peanut flavored
they're not
fudge is a
shy
legitimate snack.
or subtle at all about what they're doing now. Yeah.
Not at all. But Black Uru, you didn't. Oh, so you went to Como. Somebody, Gerald in the chat, come up, Gerald. Gerald said he's not a king. I said king because of our conversation with about California and New York. So when we talk about Cuomo, go ahead, Sunclaw. I'm sorry.
I wanted to ask Black Uru something.
Go ahead.
The He-Man Woman's Haters Club. Do you remember what that's from?
It's from the Three Stooges, right? Or Little Rascals. Maybe Little Rascals.
It's from the Little Rascals. And why did I say that? Do you know that the new He-Man is now a he/her?
Right. Angry Man did a show on it.
So you were Black Uru and some of the older people on the panel. Unlike myself, I'm a young man. Spanky.
Yeah, you sound like it too.
Darla. The He-Man Woman Haters Club was a club of little boys who excluded little girls, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was all about the boys. Keep those yucky girls away. And it was a boys' hangout. And He-Man is killed off and replaced by a woman.
So wait a minute. I saw Angry Man do a show about it. He broke it down. So is this? So wait a minute. Is what we just said gonna happen with the Jeopardy? Is what they played out in the cartoon? Because me and you posited earlier that they hired this white boy.
Yes.
Just so they could cancel him and Blossom be the host. And
they do investigations.
And I said that the white boy is going to negotiate his salary first at as high as he can get it because he's an executive producer, right? And then Blossom will be able to use Me Too Kung Fu to get equal pay, even though she doesn't have a background in co-hosting. And then they will be able to cancel him, and then Blossom will be this multi-million-dollar co-host. So are you in the cartoon already?
Yes.
Wow.
And to answer Gold Professor, it's not She-Ra. It's actually replacing He-Man. So they're killing off
like
He-Man and replacing him.
Of He-Man?
What was that girl's name on that show? Was it Tara or something like that?
Yeah, because Angry Man talked about this, but I didn't know that they killed He-Man. When Angry Man talked about the show, he said that he wasn't going to watch it because the women were the heroes and the men were fumbling idiots. But I didn't know that they eventually killed He-Man off.
And keep the same name.
Wow.
And it hurts me so because I used to love the Little Rascals.
Wow.
And to have that term He-Man to be dragged in the mud like that.
Let's think back to the He-Man Woman Haters Club, because, you can look at that as being kind of weird. We hate women. We don't want women involved.
But they
or
were
whatever.
little boys,
But when you look at what has happened over the last 60 years, the Little Rascals were kind of justified.
Right. What do you guys say all the time, you and BGS? We need this separation.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have that separation anymore. Where what was the whole thing? The Little Rascals is the same thing with Fat Albert, right? In the junkyard.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like we all, and this was the 70s when you grew up.
It's funny you mentioned Fat Albert. There weren't a whole lot of female characters featured on that. I mean, that show aired for over a decade. And there weren't a lot of female characters aired. Like I said, to me, Bill Cosby will always be a hero of mine because of Fat Albert, not because of the Cosby Show, not because of. I mean, he did a lot of wonderful things, but this guy had a TV show, a cartoon on major broadcast CBS station for over a decade that basically was a love story for black boys.
And educational. He
Yeah.
used Fat Albert in his dissertation for his PhD.
Yes.
A lot of people don't know he has a real PhD in
Yeah,
education.
he has an education. He's a doctorate of education. Yes.
And he actually wrote his own dissertation and he used those characters. He's a genius, a fucking genius. My father used to play me his comedy albums because he wouldn't cuss. The Dr. Kaz, he's a fucking genius. He used those characters in his dissertation. I said earlier, I always wanted that pen. You remember that pen he used to have, that magical pen I talked about earlier? I fell in love with Cosby before the Cosby Show, when he would do those educational segments with that magical pen that would make noise when he would draw with that pen. And he was an artist. He created the Brown Hornet. He was an artist. He would draw with that pen. He made me want to be an artist. And the reason I brought him up, because I said LeVar Burton, to me, he was like the second coming of Bill Cosby with the Reading Rainbow and how he spoke to black boys. I felt the same admiration from LeVar Burton toward black boys. And he went on to do the sci-fi. And then after sci-fi, he used that money to purchase Reading Rainbow, created this learning app. I was so proud when I heard about that. He didn't get the pub that I think it deserved. But I remember LeVar Burton on Instagram saying, hey, I got Reading Rainbow. I'm developing this app. Turned out he put a lot of money into the app. And then the latest thing I heard was him becoming the host of Jeopardy. And then what I hear today is he's not getting the job, and they put these two people in place, a male and a female. Again, like Candace Parker on the cover of the video game, that woman to me is, again, that male and female dichotomy is saying to men that it's the bully tactic, because you could have just hired the woman. But it's saying to women the same thing with the Robin story. I need to transition you baby-minded, infantile fools into having a female host. It's extremely insulting. Like, it's that bully where I'm going to take your money, but I'm going to make you give it to me. You know what I mean? The gynocracy is the biggest bully on the block, and they swinging their dick as much as they can. And as men, we are lacking a voice in this moment. And we just taking everything they're giving out. And it's like we're like I've talked about being on Twitter and having this digital voice. We have to be able to speak up in these situations. Like right now, the advocates for LeVar Ball should be us in this space. I mean, LeVar Burton should be us in this space, because him being a black man and properly deserving that job will be lost in the Me Too conversation.
Perfect. That was a perfect catch up and synopsis of your whole broadcast. Because you just could probably back up to speed, and I was out of it earlier.
Thank you, Bruce. What you think about that, Black Uru? Oh, and Gerald, I need you to get in there too.
I mean, with respect to LeVar Burton, I mean, you know, LeVar Burton has been a media fixture, has had a media presence, you know, going back to the 70s. I mean, going back to Roots, and obviously his tour with the Star Trek Next Generation, and assorted very favorable, very honorable presentations in the media. I mean, to my knowledge, the people that they presumably have selected do not have at all the resume that he has. So it's pretty clear that their intentions are not, you know, aren't necessarily concerned about what's honorable or who's most deserving. I mean, we still are very much in both a sort of white supremacist as well as a sort of a gynocratic system. So, I mean, it's kind of predictable what's happening, right? And they use, you know, at some point, all I will say, I'll say this: I will make two criticisms of black men, in general, and that is, we don't effectively use the leverage we have as black men as a potential effective wedge against much of this feminism and much of this very sort of gynocratic era that is being perpetuated. We're allowing white women in particular to get away with things that very comfortably get away with things that they never should have felt comfortably doing. you know, and we could very easily, as a collective, neutralize a lot of this feminist programming if we were to gather together and to basically highlight the hypocrisies, in particular, of not only of white female um, feminism, but also in particular black female feminism and the intersectionality elements that the fallacious intersectionality elements that they perpetuate. We could collectively take that on. We have failed to do that.
And Black Guru, if somebody were to make a video of the history of that movement from the Civil War till today,
yeah,
you would see how disgusting it is.
Of course,
because people think that Jim Crow was the norm ever since the end of the Civil War. No, it wasn't. Until Woodrow Wilson entered into the presidency, the federal government was integrated.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah,
Woodrow
white
Wilson
women
also gave women the right to vote.
White
All
women
women.
use black men as a wedge issue to further their malevolent purposes.
You're talking about suffrage. We talked about.
I'm talking about all elements. I mean, when
vote.
you talk, whether you talk about suffrage, whether you talk about the civil rights laws and how that they shoehorned their way into clauses, into laws that were originally constructed to benefit black men, and they shoehorned white women into a beneficiary position in those laws. I mean, across the board, you know, white women have specifically and especially used race to gain predominance and preeminence in this country, and black women have rode the wave of that.
What happens, Black Guru, for a white man when his wife becomes a minority?
Well, when his wife becomes a minority, he immediately gains advantage in certain contractual employment grant opportunities that he really has no business being a participant of. But just by virtue of his wife being a quote female, he's able to enjoy it. I mean, I have over the decades been involved in assorted contractual contracting and consulting opportunities where there was always an issue of a white woman or so-called white female-owned companies that were benefiting from grant programs, from contracting and consulting programs. And it was clear that white men effectively ran, if not actually owned, those actual operations.
Yep.
So, I mean, that's one of the biggest scams going.
Yep. I just want to point that out. Gerald, what you got, Gerald? I know you got something chomping at the bit.
Well, you know, I'm swinging at that Black Uhuru, talking that bullshit about Dre, already trying to lynch the man. What I placed up there is that's the child support check I got back from California, and that's a penny. So basically, the one thing I got to agree with what Black said, I'm not going to say it, but I know the solution, and I'm not going to hang myself. Yeah. I know the solution for half you women in the US of A, especially you women who literally stole the soul that this universal force put in these children. To you men who violate your children, I'm not going to leave y'all punk asses out either. Basically, this is nothing but extortion at its best. And these people in power, they don't give a shit because they don't have no emotions. This is why they can violate a child. They have no emotions toward this shit. Now, what Black said is that he didn't match this up. When these people signed for, but me and him saw this. We saw where affirmative action became a word. But guess who wrote affirmative action in, and guess who capitalized off affirmative action? Even though it gave some brothers some jobs being in the fire department, but he was right about those businesses. Those businesses was given to white women who wasn't no fucking minority.
Yep.
It wasn't a minority. But their husband came up under them and they kept their money train going anyway. Mm-hmm. See, all of this was jealous of, which I still can't believe people trying to talk about Marcus Garvey. Do you know that women back in those days had two rights? Black woman was the first woman out of different culture, women to even drive a car and have a right to vote. A lot of that came up under Marcus Garvey. That white, as Black Ram 313 calls them, black snow bunnies, they're the ones that got more upset at this sister because the sisterhood had it going on. But the sisterhood got trapped in the white Jesus narrative, and Jesus will save them. And then welfare came in, which you reverse that word, which is farewell. And then those women came in. You can't have a man in the house. This is where we at now, except it's going to get worse.
And
because,
Gerald,
yes,
I have something to
yes,
say.
son, Claude.
It has to do with this. Men make the culture, and women are supposed to transmit the culture that the men make to the children.
True.
So,
but son, they traded. Son, in other words, me and you made a hamburger. Our hamburger
riddle
been
me
the
this,
bomb.
Gerald, man.
Huh?
Riddle me this.
Okay.
Why does racism continue?
Oh, that's
Who
easy.
is teaching it to the children?
Actually, it's on its own spear now. And it's really not racism, it's really prejudice. So the thing about it is, out of all of this, when you add up this algebra formula, it still equals money. It where's the money being transferred to? When you
But I'm
look at
trying to get at something else, Gerald.
okay, help me then, son. Because it still equals to me.
Are
Now, what I've seen,
non-melanated men, who's raising them?
Women.
And who was upset by not having the right to vote and black men or melanated men could vote?
It was really women back in the Virginia Slim cigarette
I rest
days.
my case.
Okay.
Gerald, go in on King Como, because you said he ain't no king. So go in on and then I got cut off. I wanted you to go in on this, both of you guys, because I started with Como on Monday, right? And I talked about it, but then Tuesday the ball dropped. So I said Cuomo in this Me Too move, I said Cuomo is being asked to resign from 11 sexless allegations. What I've said today is that the King of New York gave up his crown for sexless allegations. Now, the other ball that dropped, I'm sorry to interrupt. The other ball that dropped is the new King of New York. The new King of New York, after the current king resigns after no adjudication, no guilty verdict, no nothing, just sexless allegations. People in the chat, please look up what allegations is and sexless. The new King of New York will be a woman.
Yeah, well,
the first female king of New York, after the current king steps down, relinquishes his throne off of baseless, sexless allegations. All right, Black Guru, Gerald, please give me something on that.
Okay, well, I said he wasn't the king because I said it's much more than what we think it is. It's not about that. Remember, one of the biggest, if anybody was a king of New York, it was the ghost. And that ghost was called Epstein.
Well, so before you go to left, when I say king, I'm referring to our conversation about California being the 5th largest economy in New York and how legislation and policy is moved out of these 2 large states. Like when I say king, I mean how Trump could not go into Washington state unless the governor gave him permission, even though they had that lawlessness in Seattle. That the governor's a quasi king, like governorships used to be given out by the queen. You know what I'm saying?
Look, geographically.
So, not even geographically, but politically, Trump could not send troops into Washington state without permission of the government.
So ask yourself this question. Why? Aren't those, okay, here's the question to the panel.
That's what I mean by Como being the king. Like, and he's king of New York, one of the largest economies in the globe. And Trump couldn't tell him what to do. Why would he relinquish that?
All right, let's look on the map. 2 major places on the map. One is west, one is east.
Right.
One east is New York. The other west is Washington. Right? Those places are blue states. Those places have a bond. Both of them are metropolitan places. One of the biggest places where your ass can come up and disappear. Understand this. A vampire wants what, Son Claw, on a daily basis? What does a vampire want?
Blood.
Let's go. Okay. When you look at those places, you can disappear there. You can disappear. And guess where they run them? They run them right up here. Do you understand that you guys, I will keep preaching it and saying it because I didn't figure this shit out. Us on this panel are very fortunate people because we have a voice and we can speak. There are people who wasn't so unfortunate, and those souls are gone, and some of those souls are walking around on this street right now. When somebody say, hey, this dude did this to me, I don't give a shit if he's famous, y'all may not believe me. Guess what everybody gonna say? Oh no, you can't do that. He's a superstar. I always say, but there's always a strong 1% that it might be true. Now, I always got to go to my millionaire friends because I always talk to them. They say, Gerald, you are outside of the box. Nobody does not measure things like that because most people are zombies. Now, they need a distraction. That distraction is huge. Again, 2 places people can come up missing. Over right there off the West Coast, that's right above Washington. My boys tell me them some bitches kidnapping people right in broad daylight. They gotta have their nourishment to keep doing what they do. The only thing that scares me is that they got their hand on that button. And before they relinquish this power, they will continue to do what they do. This is why that money you showed yesterday, this is money for the left to continue to steal. How the hell you print up trillions of dollars out of thin air and ain't got nothing to back it? Not a damn thing but a thought, and not even that. Connect the dots is the game. And I think LAVAR Burton should be over that show. And Black, yes, I agree with you. They can't continue to extort us like this because you go in the woods and keep fucking poking that bear. See, won't that bear take half your ass off? I say it to you women. Don't give a shit how you feel. At least I'm warning you. Keep fucking with a man when he's down. And watch you wake up a dog that you will not stop. And even God gonna say, ain't nothing I can do. That's what you get for poking a bear.
Don't help me help the bear. Shout out she might matter. So Black you, what you got on that on King Como and the new female king?
Well, I mean, and I think I touched on it earlier. I just think it's all a part of the female takeover. You know, I think when the female and the rainbow or whatever takeover, I mean, when you look at all of the media, you know, all of the programming, the scripted media, as well as, you know, so-called reality TV and broadcast media. I mean, it clearly is there clearly is an agenda, and the Cuomos of the world no longer meet that agenda, and it was time for him to step aside. His time has come and gone, and now is the time of the Kamalas. You know, I know you can't say her name, but but it's their time. That's what a certain faction of people have determined to be, you know, required. So for you men, particularly you that's happen to be masculine, and especially you Black men, you're going to have to become citizens of the world.
World walkers. Shout out to my little brother G Serotonin. World walkers.
Exactly, because this country has clearly submitted to the gynocratic, the rainbow future. Yeah, I mean, that's just what's going to happen. Now, you can take it on, you can fight it, you can maybe even defeat it. But will you live through the process of doing that? Probably not. No. Because so many of those people have levers of power in areas that you don't even necessarily think about or know or don't necessarily like. Remember when the thing went down with Kobe and Oprah's friend, Gail made those comments about Kobe, and Snoop Dogg
dog head bitch, you
pushed back.
funky
Right.
dog head bitch.
And
Yeah.
remember how Susan Rice, someone you almost never hear from.
Right. I
You
remember that.
never hear from.
Pause, Black. Pause. I need you to pause on that one so I can tell you, and I want you to pick it right back up at Susan Rice. The reason why you won't hear from Susan Rice, because she was so dumb that she was caught up in the conspiracy, and she emailed the information back to her, an email that went out, and the email came back to her, which incriminated her ass. Keep going, Black. Her ass is done.
But to kind of make my point, you never have heard from this woman, and of all the issues, all the myriad problems that this country has endured,
geopolitical,
during and especially after, she made a point of threatening Snoop Dogg, and did so in a way that one can easily infer that she had resources to call down a level of calamity upon his life that we all can guess what that is and what the source of it is. I mean, it's easy to guess what someone who was formerly the national security advisor and was the the United States UN ambassador could call upon a citizen.
What favor
of all the issues that she would make a public statement against, that is the one she chose to make a public statement. So you're dealing with people, you're dealing with women in particular that could disappear you. You know, what happened to those brothers in Missouri during those protests?
Yeah, all of them gone.
All of them gone.
Dead.
All of them gone. And they started to disappear when there was some anti-BLM rhetoric that was coming from them. All of them gone. No, these women, make no mistake, these women have connections to malevolent forces. They do.
That's what's funny.
And if you're going to engage with them, you must be prepared. You know, I remember seeing the movie Wyatt Earp. Kevin Costner Wyatt Earp movie came out right around the same time, a little time after the Kurt Russell Tombstone movie, which for whatever reason Hollywood released two Wyatt Earp movies like the same year.
They both was good though. They both
were good. The Wyatt Earp movie, the Kevin Costner movies, was a little more serious and a little more thorough in terms of where Earp came from. But the interesting thing about that movie that I always remember from that movie is what's his name? Great actor. I think he's still around. Played his father. Gene Hackman. Gene Hackman plays his father. And his father's a judge, which was apparently true in real life. Earth's father was I believe, a federal judge. And he's talking to him about morality and whatever. And he tells him that, you know, look, son, I believe in the law. I believe in, you know, ethics and rule of law. But he said, in this world, at some point, you will encounter some men who don't believe in law, who don't believe in rule of order or morality. And he said, when you identify these men, and when you're in an encounter with these men, you shoot first and you shoot to kill. You guys are dealing with some people that if you're going to deal with them, if you're really going to deal with them, you may have to take a similar sort of approach. And if you're not willing to take a similar sort of approach, then you best back off altogether. Because I don't think it's a coincidence that a Cosby's son died on the road somewhere on the highway. No. I don't believe at all that had anything to do with some Russian dude or whatever.
And this doesn't even have to be through official channels.
Yes.
because there were certain branches of the government that were involved in putting illicit pharmaceuticals, that nice white powdery nose candy, out onto the streets. And they have those channels too that they can use.
Yep. Hey, Black, they have to also answer to that, because not only did they not take out his son, remember that rumor they said that his daughter was a drug user and all of that crap? Found out it was a lie, and they actually took her out too.
The daughter who spoke out publicly for him, she eventually died as well.
Well, that's the beauty of places of organizations like Blackwater. Blackwater, they don't have to. They're different than FBI and CIA's.
Yeah.
Blackwater is who they probably will use. Entity like that, military mercenaries outside of Geneva, outside of all these laws and regulations,
outside of the official lines of hierarchy.
No, this is why we still have gangs, Irv. They use the gangs.
Exactly.
This is why why do we have Bloods and Crips? Black people, you know how trendy we are. I've had this talk before in the barbershop, and everybody looked at me crazy. I said, why do we have gangs? We're trendy. Well, I didn't wear Warriors leather vest. The gang that Black Uru and Gerald had, that's not the gang I created. Why is my son wearing Dickies? Why is my son wearing the blue rag? I took it forward. I didn't wear bell bottoms. Black people are not like that. We're gods. We create new. We don't do the same thing for 50 years. I did not wear a leather vest. We did something different. That is by design that Crips and Bloods still exist in the same way they did when I was a child. That's not the way Black people move throughout history with music and everything. It's a natural progression. Hip hop was one way, it progressed. R&B was one way, gospel became R&B. But yet we still walking around with blue rags. Nah,
are the colors a coincidence?
I don't know what you mean.
The political parties have a certain color associated with them. Is that a coincidence?
Well, yeah, I mean the political parties, their colors are blue and red.
Correct. I don't know who picked those colors.
Ironically or coincidentally. Yeah.
But I would say to Pastor $40 that I believe a lot of times that that's why gangs still exist. You know, somebody was saying, Wack 100 did an interview with 6ix9ine. He was saying something about there's a separation between the streets and the and I was at home screaming. I said, Suge Knight had police working for him. The police that work for Suge.
I run for political office, right? And one of the things I encountered several times were gang members who, while I was running, who were
police officers.
No, let me finish. Who were assisting with the marketing and the passing of flyers and etc. of my political opponents.
Oh wow.
Yep. Guys I knew who had done hard time, right? And I knew them, and I didn't really have any. Look, I'm a Black man. I know how that goes. But yeah, I mean, political opponents of mine had associations with hardened criminals, gang members, gang affiliation, and as best I can tell, at some point they manipulated the results of ballot boxes and everywhere. Because when the gangster disciples appear and intrude upon the ballot boxes or whatever, who's going to stand in their way?
And how long that's been happening? That sounds like some mafia shit.
Yeah.
That sounds like some mafia shit.
Yep. Yeah, very, very much so. Very, very, very much akin to that. Yes. So, and I'm not saying that to, it's kind of it was an interesting lesson learned on my part because, I was very naive in terms of how things work and what relationships exist between what you would presume to be disparate factions or groups. And you realize that when you make the effort to ascend along the formal lines of power, there's a convergence of what you presume to be disparate groups. And you realize that, this guy wins the election and you go to his victory campaign, and the guy who's the local leader of the faction of the El Rukins or whatever is at the ceremony.
Well, Black Euro, that's why that young Navy man was not able to beat Maxine Waters in that district that she was in.
Exactly.
Because she had all the gangs, she had all the
He had
gang files.
all those gigs. The Bloods and the Crips were in lockstep with Maxine Waters. You
Get
best
out of
believe.
here. Get
You
out of
best
here.
believe. You best believe.
They work for the. I've said.
Look, Maxine Waters have been in that position, man, for decades. They already been bought and integrated and immersed, and they've created their little kind of infrastructure, peaceful coexistence.
She didn't got
every now and then they dole out a few flunkies to send to prison to give the impression that they're actually cleaning shit up. In the end, the status quo remains the same.
Check this out. We're gonna move to the next topic. I want to share this, and then we could be careful, but I want to expound on this. My mind worked kind of funny. So when I seen this, I started, and I'm glad Gerald is here because Gerald could go a lot of different directions. But so this is FEMA. I don't know if you guys saw it on your cell phone, but I have a background in IT. I used to sell cell phones, and we talk about the V as softly as we can, but a lot of things have been happening lately with these mandates, not laws, mandates, because laws have to be voted on by the people. I've said that the government is using their quasi fourth branch of the government, the oligarchies and corporations, to put forth mandates, not laws, that they want to keep their hands clean from. And in that same vein, with Cuomo, with the other shoe dropping, with the woman now being, I'm like, what's the other shoe going to drop with all of this V talk, right? Because something as big is coming. And here in that same vein, I see this with FEMA putting out. Now, I've seen alerts before. You had that YouTube. You had that what's the name of the group? That YouTube. YouTube put their music on everybody's iPhone without anybody being able to have permission and stuff.
That pissed me off.
So this has happened before to let people know what power they actually have, what they can actually do, what they actually can see and hear. So that's been known, right? What triggered me about this is that the FEMA, right? Why is FEMA involved? Like typically it's like the cell phone company or some type of other stuff, right? But now FEMA is doing a test alert. So for everybody, if you're familiar, like my birthday coming up this weekend, so I'm 40 plus, like they don't do shit like this for no reason. FEMA's doing this test. Why? FEMA is going to be doing something coming up. That's my speculation, allegedly. I can't say for sure. But I started to speculate, why would FEMA be doing such a test and have such capability? What will they do? What is already in the works? What will be the message that comes across? Will that be the Hunger Games message? Will that be the Purge message? This shit right here is I don't want to say like scary or fearful, but this shit right here is that shit you need to worry about right here. So I want to throw this to the panel. What y'all think? It says, reminder, at 2:20 p.m. Eastern today, we will conduct a national test of emergency alert system in coordination with FCC. The test will appear on televisions, radios, while specially configured cell phones will receive emergency alert test code message, #iPause. So, we got emergencies test before, but my concern is, why is FEMA, this new entity like the Homeland Security, why is FEMA involved?
Because FEMA is tied to DHS, and DHS is technically FEMA, but go ahead. I shouldn't have said that, but go ahead.
Well,
I'm asking because to me,
I don't pass. You got to keep going, because it's either two things. Either the left, one is concentration camps, and they've been around since the early 2000s. I've seen them down there in Georgia. So yeah, they call it bird sanctuary, but it's really concentration camps. But you got to understand, somebody threw a thorn in their side. This was not supposed to operate like this, and Hillary Clinton's supposed to be in office. Trust me, this is going against all odds. Now, the other option is that get your popcorn and get your shit ready. Because once they take over this TV and this quantum system coming in, they're going to have to show the people what's going on. Now, Bruce, I'm going to come at you because I said something to you earlier and you was like, really, Gerald? And I was saying, yeah, because there's information out there that was played back in maybe whenever JFK Jr. got killed, and they had tweets out. And before he went down, it was like, sit back and enjoy the show. Now, what man that's supposed to be dying gonna tweet some shit like that? So all of our lives, things have been going on. Black, me and you have lived in eras of colorism. We came through when Sunclaw and Perfect, they came through the crack era. Bill Cooper wrote a book called Behold the Pale Horse, who told you who was the #1 drug pusher on the planet. And Pastor, don't be afraid to say it, because people like Mel Kiper, Mel K, they talking this shit every night now. People are bold enough to say things like, well, we know who the biggest drug dealer was in the world, and we all know now that Osa Ben Forgotten ain't dead because he was America's smack dealer. So the truth is out there. There's no use of being afraid to say it. We may not want to say it, but it's said. So to sit there and to realize that these people that was in office, it was straight up treasoning.
You said was.
Still is. Okay, you're right.
Look,
you're right. Correct me on my English.
#1? Which country in the world is the #1 female hero producer?
You know what? I would never take America from that #1 stand. But then you say producer, so the people that's really
the female hero called.
Because I was gonna say the people who came up with this
heroin.
Oh yes, of course.
Oh shit. Okay, yeah. Yeah, okay.
And did we happen to invade and happen to be in that said country that produces that?
That's true. Matter of
Those
fact,
little black seeds that are put on top of bagels.
Matter of
they're
fact,
the #1 producer.
Matter of fact, that's funny because this was stated is that, they went over there, a certain politician or politrickster gave them millions of dollars, gave them farmers that seed, and produced that stuff over there.
No, that's not even like hidden. Throughout the Gulf War, they said that was on CNN. Throughout the Gulf War, they said because this was their cash crop.
Say fair use. Say fair use. Say fair use.
Fair use.
Okay.
They said because that was their cash crop before, that it behooved the United States government to make sure that they would be able to continue to produce that cash crop. So for the past 20 years, throughout this entire conflict, we have been committed, and Afghanistan has never stopped producing. They have never went down in production.
Could you say they're being protected by the U.S.?
Yes, they are. They're being protected. Those fields are being protected. Even the soldiers have said that and got in trouble, saying we got to stand here and protect these fields. But the farmers said now, Perfect, is that this wasn't our shit. This was bought to us. Money was bought to us. And then that's where you get to who invented the Taliban and ISIS, who had their hand in on their creation, which is a offspring from Blackwater. But
you absolutely. I got a partner from over there, and we was working at a hospital one day, and he was laughing. He explained it to me. He said, "Dennis, he said you guys got like gangs in the mafia, right? But you guys, the smart people, know that it's no difference between the mafia and the government." He said that they use the mafia to do JFK and everything. He said, well, where I'm from, he said he grew up in Afghanistan. He said it's laughable the way you guys think, because let's say there's a city that's not in control. The government would call the Taliban and tell the Taliban to go over there and get that city in control. They like you couldn't have the Taliban in charge of a city without government permission. He said they work in tandem. He said you guys don't understand how it works outside of America. And it's the same thing with the triads. It's the same thing in every country.
We know nothing. We know nothing. And Putin just said this. Putin put this out. Putin said the American people are fantastic people. The only sad thing is they have no clue about their government and what's going on.
Right. We have no idea how governments use the underground to move power. This is how China has proliferated throughout the globe, and Russia. Russia moves with the Russian mob, and China moves with the triad. So much so that's why Jack Ma had to step down. He didn't give no arguments about it. You think he was scared of the government, or he was scared of the triad? All of those billionaires over there are running, coming over to America and everywhere. It's because they're linked together, and the government could come to you and say something. Well, if you don't listen to us, then you know you got to deal with the triad.
But
Because we
perfect.
all one people over here.
Jack Ma was so rich and powerful that, and such a public figure that the government can't do anything to him. Of course, the government can't do anything to him.
Hey, I'm just gonna step away, but I'm gonna stay on live. I gotta meet somebody. Y'all keep doing y'all thing, but I'm still on.
So yeah, you got to use the triad. So that's what that's been effective. But
perfect.
Why is
talking
FEMA
about the turkey hut?
No, we ain't talking about the turkey leg hut. But
We're talking about the turkey leg hut, but we ain't talking about it.
I want y'all to stay looking at this, you guys, because this is bothering me why FEMA is involved with this alert. We've seen these alerts before from the SEC, but remember, FEMA is a new entity that came out like with the Katrina floods and stuff, and they have certain powers that have been exhibited here lately. Why would FEMA be involved unless they have an upcoming announcement that they're going to push out? This is just a test.
Have you noticed something? When there's a severe weather warning or there's an Amber Alert, have you noticed that your phone rings and makes noises even though it's on Do Not Disturb?
No, I haven't noticed that.
Yep.
It does. Even
All
though
of that
you
is-
have your settings configured to Do Not Disturb.
You still get a notification.
Yeah. All of that is actually under the Department of Homeland Security. And I'm gonna go ahead and say it because what happens is it's been a consolidation of power on both sides. They have pretty much America's under the Department of Home DHS, and the civilian side is ran by the Department of Department of Relations. That's the civilian side, but the civilian side is the big umbrella is DHS. If you really want to see what's going on with the United States, that's the next thing I'm looking into, or I'm gonna start exposing is the depths of DHS and how far it reaches into America. It's bigger than the church. 10 times bigger than the church.
Oh, no doubt. Trust me, being a veteran, I know what you touching on, but I'll leave it at that.
And here's another thing. Now that I'm thinking back on it, in certain countries, people's phones were hacked. Do you know how?
How?
They opened a text message that was sent to their phone.
Yeah, and Dick Cheney did that with Operation Stellar Winds, where that's what that whole argument was. You noticed earlier this year, they were like, how do we get out the information about the issue that's going on in the country with the sickness? Through Operation Stellar Winds, they were able to contact Apple and able to write it just like Epic has a back door where you can go into it and update it. They did the same thing with our phones. It was called Operation Stellar Winds. That's how DHS was able to get into our phones.
So if you have like that GPS function turned off on your phone, you could probably bypass that too and turn that on.
Well, I remember selling cell phones when that was being debated. If you recall, remember the Nokias? When I worked at Verizon, this was still flip phones and Nokia. This was the first flip phones, the first Bluetooth. And I remember when it was being discussed and debated on the House floor about all cell phones having GPS. Cell phones didn't have GPS. The technology, number one, didn't exist. But I think that was in the early 2000, 2001, 2002. They made and it might have been under the Patriot Act, but they made a law that said all cell phones have to come with GPS. And I remember that because we have phones in the store that did not have the new software that we couldn't sell anymore.
Yes, the Patriot Act was the umbrella act, but the stem to the umbrella that you hold on to was Stellar Winds. That's how they made it all connect. It was all about safety over. It was about security over private safety over privacy.
Right, and it was supposed to go away, but it's still they keep renewing it. And Barack Obama, when Gerald was talking earlier, it made me think about Barack Obama when he was talking about, I forgot the name, Godden, the guy is still alive. It made me think about Barack Obama signing in that legalizing propaganda. So that and then remember what we defined political theater yesterday. The other day we defined political theater, and what was the thing in the political theater that stood out? Guerrilla theater. I intimate guerrilla theater to include heinous acts like the Nipsey Hussle, like the Marilyn Monroe, like the Tupac. That's guerrilla theater. Malcolm X. That's guerrilla theater, all in the effort to sway the opinions of the public. Now, when I brought up political theater, I didn't know it would be like that. I didn't know political theater was that involved. And one of the first things in the definition of political theater is using what they term guerrilla theater to sway minds of the public. What do y'all think guerrilla theater is? I think guerrilla theater is those heinous acts. And they up front by mentioning it. So I thought that was a trip.
I think 9/11 was the biggest guerrilla theater we saw. And then I think what we're currently seeing is guerrilla theory, but I just want to want to say that too loudly.
So I'm gonna go to my last topic, which is a little lighter topic because we've been talking about a lot of heavy stuff. So I'll let y'all weigh in on this. So y'all might have heard about some dude, one of those Russian dudes wrote a book, one of the basketball players, and he's talking shit about Jason Kidd. So this right here is a little detail. It's almost as if Jason Kidd has history of abuse from a position of power. I wonder if it's documented anywhere else outside of basketball. So Jason Kidd is trying to get me too because of this Russian dude wrote a book. And it says, I read the new, that's his name, Giannis biography that is coming out tomorrow. My biggest takeaway is that Jason Kidd should not be allowed to be around other people, let alone coach an NBA team. Y'all hear that? The worst story is his response to a team loss on the day before Christmas Eve. The group, do you think was a winnable game? Yes, it was a winnable game, Petula said. And do you think we deserve the next 2 days off? Petula couldn't believe Kidd had put him in that situation, threatening to ruin Christmas. Petula tried to strike a diplomatic tone. You know what, Coach? I understand the frustration. We're all frustrated because this was a game we were supposed to win. We didn't give enough effort, but at the same time, this is a holiday, Christmas. But Kidd wasn't satisfied. See you guys tomorrow at 9 a.m. Whoa, player said. What do you mean? We're going to have practice tomorrow. We booked flights to different places. I don't care. You guys get paid to do a job, so you're doing your job tomorrow. Things changed. Practice the next morning was ugly. Kidd went at Sanders, called him a piece of shit, a terrible player. The team ran and ran. So again, Black Uru said earlier, we could go a lot of different directions with this, right? I don't mind where we go.
I might need to bite my tongue on this topic.
You could do whatever you like. We can go where, this is a Me Too theme. It's Women Wednesdays, but I changed it to All I Do Is Win Wednesdays. But you notice the theme today? I didn't want to call it Women Wednesdays because I knew I was going to go in on this Me Too movement. So here it is again. In my opinion, Jason Kidd is getting Me Too. The theme on Twitter, the theme on social media today is what Black Uru said. He said, be careful, any of you who have sizable balls and you use them. Anybody who is showing any masculinity, then he went into Cosby, the sons being murdered, and he gave examples, quantifiable examples of when a black man is masculine, what happens. This is my thing about shoving down y'all throat the King Kong trope. Pastor even talked about it today on his show. The King Kong trope that gets wheeled out whenever you want to cancel a masculine black man. I haven't heard about this. And the guy admitted that they didn't play their best and they get paid multi-millions of dollars. And here it is, just like Kevin Samuels gets every night, a black man being stern, a black man being a disciplinarian, a black man being strict. And what's the interpretation? He should never be around people alone again. He definitely should never coach an NBA team again. I'll let y'all have it.
So first off, this is random and out of nowhere. And yeah, I mean, to touch on what you were saying, yeah, this could be very much, another version of, being Me Too and what have you, because, this come out of nowhere randomly and things like that. And that seems to be the current theme. I mean, even certain other YouTubers who was in that profession kind of coming out doing the same thing on the reverse flip side. So it's like, what are you going to be held accountable for? And, in the past.
Just pick a date and replace any brand of tank. Easy.
Yep. What, is that me? Is that one of y'all? Somebody got a camera or TV on or something?
Good time.
Was it an ad from YouTube?
That must have been an ad, bro.
Hey, perfect. If you have a page open, sometimes they just keep on playing videos at a certain interval on some of these news websites.
Oh, okay. I don't think that was me. I think that was y'all.
We were all muted.
We muted up. We muted up.
All right, it was me. It was me. My bad. Go ahead, Bruce. Go ahead, Bruce.
No, man, no. I wanted to leave it at that. Yeah, that was random as hell.
I wish Gerald was here.
I know. This is a good topic, huh?
I would have dropped a crumb because I really don't want to go into this.
No.
Why? Why do I have to be the one who people think is crazy for saying the things that I say? Why me?
It gotta be somebody, Son Claw. Shit rolls downhill, Son Claw.
Damn it. Like you said, the ice cream rolls downhill. Right. A free ice cream with the purchase of a hamburger. Hey, perfect. I got a t-shirt idea.
Shoot.
On the front of the shirt. No, on the back of the shirt, you have this beautiful ice cream cone, right? With sprinkles and all this other stuff. And the ice cream has a smiley face. And he has a gold tooth, right?
I love it.
And then on the front of the t-shirt, on the pocket, you have two flies talking to each other. And you know what they're saying?
What they say?
That's some good shit.
This shit right here. This shit right here.
If you make that t-shirt, I bet you sell tons of it.
I'm on it. But where y'all wanted to go? You said you wanted to go somewhere. What you want to go with this Jason Kidd story, man? Oh. Jason Kidd canceled Christmas, literally canceled Christmas. But the intimation is from powers that be is that Jason Kidd should be canceled. He should not long.
Thing is actually what I did not want to talk about.
Oh, okay. We don't have to talk about Christmas. We could pass
because they're mentioning it as if it has some kind of meaning.
Ah, you don't subscribe to Christmas.
I don't subscribe to the date.
Got it.
A lot of things that we celebrate on particular dates was because the church, when it first started, could not get people to start celebrating certain pagan holidays on certain dates.
Right.
So in order to sanitize them, they put a veil of Christianity over certain dates. If you read certain passages, it gives hints as to what time of year certain figures were born, and it wasn't in winter.
And that's what I was trying to get at today. The churches, there's a veil, there's a really ugly that's going on in these churches, and it has a veil over it. When I saw that they have the radical women's ministry, what is the radical women's ministry? We're gonna go more into that, and perfect. Please cover that too, brother. We all need to look into that. What are they preaching in these churches?
And what are they twisting around for their own purposes?
Now think about the state of our women. After you showed that website, it wasn't enlightening or illuminating, Pastor, because a lot of us are confused. Black you were just telling us to be careful and be warned. Like now we know where they operate. They're using these think tanks. I said I started myself I started my Sunday platform for the same reason why they're using the church the way they're using it. I said that I believe church was started by like-minded men, like all of us here. Hey, Sunclaw, I like the way you mow your grass. Hey, Pastor, I like the way you keep your grass. Bruce, you keep your grass up too. Gerald, you keep your grass up. You love your woman. Your kids is clean. Let's meet on Sunday at my house. And let's talk about how we protect our community so that the kids can continue to play outside, and we could discuss growing our community because we may need more men like us to protect the community. And while we have our discussions about growth and protection, the wives will fry some chicken and the kids is going to play. To me, that's what church was, these think tanks. So when you talk about the radical, what I saw, Pastor, is them using the Sunday in church, the 504c, the tax benefits and everything to have a quasi think tank.
Yeah, because the first bookstores, I'm gonna put this out here too. Alternative bookstores is another meeting ground for them as well.
So when you see these ideologies and niggas ain't shit and all this shit, when I saw those pictures, I'm like, this is why all black women are on the same page. What we're trying to do with the Cool Table and the Brotherhood to get one location that we can convene, congregate, and share ideas to come out with common knowledge and common codes. They're already doing it. That's why they pushed us out of the black church. Once they pushed all of the men out of the black church, then they had this thing, and it's full of money and power. Y'all ain't fucking listening. It's full of money and power. 504, they have direct access to local government, all the way up to the fucking presidency. And I'm talking about just local black bitches. Just local black bitches got access to aldermen, supervisors, governors. They are moving shit through these things. You got to see the website, Pastor. I'm looking forward to your next show on the topic because it was extremely illuminated. Even the man, he did so good with that show, showing that how all the women on the website got weaves and makeup.
Yeah,
completely contradicting the Bible.
And what's even crazier about it is they have child soldiers. They got the women, but they get to keep replenishing it because they have the child soldiers under it all.
Because they condone the single mother. Remember the talk we had yesterday, y'all? My brother, co-host Son Clark, brought up the term bastard. I piggybacked on that with divorcee, and people might hear and be like, and I piggyback to say, bastard was a legal terminology. That was your legal status for a time. Divorcee, you were a bastard child of your father. Like, this was not a put down. It became a put down. But I believe Sunclaw was referring to when it was a legal status.
And that was one of the levers of power that men had that was taken away, is that term. Because if you did not recognize any child that you had with a woman and you did not recognize that child, automatically that child is a bastard.
So how are these women now accepted into the church? These women now, they're accepting and condoning single motherhood and whoreism. Before in the church I grew up in, these women wouldn't have been allowed to be in the church in the whole leadership positions. If you're going to be here.
I had a question to ask you about something, and it has to do with the church thing. I had described my experience of Christmas just to an older ADOS black woman. And you know what she said to me?
What she said?
Oh, that's old Christmas.
Old Christmas?
I'm saying, what? What are you talking about, old Christmas? This is how we celebrated it with my grandfather back in the 90s. Of course, I was in a different country, and they're more traditional there at that time. But she said old Christmas. You see, Thanksgiving is the juicer that extracted all the little meaning that Christmas had. Why do I say that? Because the way we celebrated it in my parents' country, all the family gathered together at the matriarch or patriarch's house, which is my grandfather's house, and we would have this big meal together as a family, and we would give thanks. 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 And we would pray and we would thank God for giving us such a wonderful year, and then enjoy the company of our family members. Absolutely no gifts were exchanged. None. On January 6th, the children would give gifts.
Mm.
And that day is called El Dia de los Niños, which is called the Day of the Children,
Mm.
or El Dia del Niño, which is the day of the child. Which child? The Christ child. We did not have Santa Claus. We had the three wise men. And gifts were given to children on June 6th because it was believed that that was the day that the three wise men arrived at the manger and gave gifts to the Christ child. So those presents that we give to children were basically symbolic for giving gifts to the Christ child. No adults would get gifts. And she told me that that was old Christmas.
Wow. That's the race to the bottom. The erosion.
How many families really get together for Christmas? Normally they're in their own homes on Christmas and only get together for Thanksgiving, right?
Right.
Isn't that odd?
And what else is on Thanksgiving?
The big meal.
No. That also you mentioned, but what else?
The football game.
That too, but what else that kills the whole Christmas thing that happens on a Friday? The Friday after you eat.
Enlighten me, perfect.
Black Friday. I noticed it too when Black Friday came.
Capitalism?
Yeah. Because when Black Friday came,
say it ain't so.
Because everybody shopped for their gifts in November. There's no more secrecy. There's no more anticipation. Everybody just said, fuck it. Since Black Friday came, fuck it. We'll just go shop on Black Friday. Christmas is effectively done. It was gone 10, 15 years ago as soon as Black Friday came because you got your Christmas in right with Thanksgiving because you bought your gift on Black Friday. You wasn't going to wait to open the Xbox. Anybody could relate to that? When Black Friday came, you and your mama just went and bought whatever you wanted for Christmas on Black Friday.
You see, I wish Gerald were here so he could give an elder opinion on what I'm talking about.
No, but you're right about the. I remember seeing a documentary about the little black about where that holiday came from in Switzerland, and to this day, when they celebrate it, they do blackface. Because one of the people that help Santa Claus, they have a little nigger little doll, and they wear blackface in this European country where the tradition originally originated from. The stories, the dress, the red, the character, and everything. There's a little black child that goes with the story, and they still wear blackface in these Swedish countries that originated this parable. So yeah, it gets deep. It gets deep with Christmas.
So they subvert the holidays, the meaning of the holidays. And in a sense, they're subverting the family because now instead of it being a day where family gets together and celebrates God, it becomes a day where you're either disappointed or you're excited because somebody gave you something of monetary value.
Right.
It's not about family anymore. Isn't that interesting? It's not about family anymore.
Commerce.
And that's what we're exposed about what they're doing with these political programs and these churches. They're taking the man away from it, so there's no family. It's all attacking family.
No consequences. No consequences. And now we got this bully out here on the loose. This bully is out here on the loose, doing whatever they want to do, causing havoc. And like Black Guru said, we got to start speaking up about it. But thank God he created this platform, and all you brothers who make this the Perfect Timing, Perfect Man show, that we are having a conversation. And I hear it trickling out there. I think some people are afraid to talk about the conversation after we talk about it because the way we have the conversation, and you don't want to sound stupid after we've talked about it. But please, brothers, it's meat on the bone. It's meat on the bone. I see the Me Too dragon rearing its ugly head again, and we need to be prepared for when it comes to bite you on the ass. That is coming right now. I also noticed the FEMA dragon rearing his head, and we need to be prepared for when this government issues that call that's coming. Like we all know, like men.
Over there on Pelican Fans number 12, the second sentence, it said, we knew he beat his wife, but emotional abuse is just as important? What the?
I don't get it.
But you see that, right?
How is it just as important?
People crucified Larry Sanders.
Mm-hmm.
And then it says, Jason Kidd is an abusive human being. We knew he beat his wife, but emotional abuse is just as important. Emotional abuse is just as important as physical abuse?
Is he not getting Me Too? You see that, Pastor? I'm not trying to like
he is.
I'm not trying to create a story. I'm not trying to, like, people might think, oh, perfect. I'm not trying to do that.
What you're doing is what a lot of these guys are not doing perfect. That's what I try to do on my channel too. They say when you bring up these words and you bring up this reality, they say you're doing female talk. No, you're not. You're talking about the law. These are not females using these words. These are not even real men using these words. These are the principalities called the law.
And Pastor,
that's what you're doing.
It's important to know these terms. Why? Because when you encounter a woman and she starts using certain terminology,
red flag,
you will know exactly the red flags that you know I need to steer clear of this person. This person ain't right in the head.
And you know, Son Claude, I missed that. God is good. I'm hovering over that, and you read it. I didn't even know what you were reading from. It was my intimation that he's being Me Too. But this is a coffin nail right here. I got to give you your coffin nail props because I totally missed that. This is a coffin nail right here. Anybody that's speculating whether or not Jason Kidd is being Me Too, speculation is over. He's being Me Too.
That's basically turning something else and conflating it with being even more monstrous.
King Kong.
He didn't kill one person. He killed a multitude of people.
King Kong. He must be up for a job. He must be negotiating something. There must have been something on the table, right? There must have been something on the table. There's no coincidences. The book isn't even out yet.
Farmer John killed 15 yesterday.
The beauty of using the type of abuse they're using, physical abuse, is quantitative. You can count bruises. You can count missing teeth. Emotional abuse, you can't count those scars. It's a bullet that never ends. It's a gun that never stops shooting because you never even saw it shoot.
Oh, wow. That's deep.
Farmer Johnson killed 15 yesterday, and he should be arrested. And it's absolutely true. And it is a lie by omission. He killed 15 what?
15 what?
And what is emotional abuse? I told you something that you didn't like and it made you cry. Is that emotional abuse by that definition?
How do you quantify that?
You can't. That's the reason why it's the gift that keeps giving.
Exactly.
Let's go on to closing statements, y'all. This has been a great show, man. Everybody, y'all could jump in wherever y'all want to jump in. Gerald is still up here, but he must have went to go make a sandwich.
I go real quick because I think you and Son Claude got to tie it up. But man, you know what? Thanks for having me up. Perfect. Thanks, Son Claude. Y'all boys doing great. Y'all keep having these intellectual, deep thinking, not surface level thoughts. It's going to end up putting us ahead and putting us as the leaders that we know that we are, so we can help other men. Keep having these deep thoughts, brothers. Keep thinking deep, man. Y'all have a good one.
Thank you, Pastor. Thank you. Gerald, is you there, Gerald? I'm going to take him off. Remove. If you there, Gerald, you can come back. What you got, Son Claw?
I didn't want to have to do this.
You know, I don't believe you because you say that shit a lot, man.
But the thought done wandered into my mind.
A thought?
Yes.
Think it's for horses, Son Claw. We've had this talk, man.
I know we have. Just like I've said many times before, I didn't want to have to say this. But
I didn't want to have to say it.
People haven't noticed this either. What is a bat, Perfect?
A back?
A bat.
Oh, a bat. Yes. Like Batman, like a flying rat, I've heard.
No. It's a large piece of wood, right?
A bat? Oh, a baseball bat. Okay.
Yeah. And then you got this robin, right? And these tight spandex, right?
We had to go. God damn.
And it don't seem right. It don't seem right. And they're calling him Batman. And what do you do with a bat? You beat people with it.
Right.
So he's beating up Robin
with the bat.
What's a bat? Wood.
Wait.
And what is wood an euphemism for?
Wait. You're going too fast. It's a bat wood, right?
But what is a bat? I mean, what is wood a euphemism for? Perfect.
Oh, no. It's Women Wednesdays. It's not Lucky Charm. It's not Lucky Charm. It's women, heterosexual, perfect time, perfect man. Women win. What's wrong? I like Batman and Robin, man. I'm not gonna be able to look at them again no more.
I love Batman too, man, but this shit is so obvious, man. It's like they're right in your face. You know, the women who tried to change that comic, they should be ashamed of themselves.
They should be ashamed.
They could have had him dating a girl and said it was a bisexual thing.
It was a woman. It was a female writer. He's working through some things. There's no sexuality attached just yet. Sounds like some woman shit. Men don't talk like that. There's no sexual. We don't go in between our sexuality. Shit.
I know, Bruce. I know, but I can't help it, man.
Shit.
I'm gonna stop right there. And Perfect, you done did it again.
Another one. Man, God is good. I'll be having, I have such high expectations for each show. And every time, man, it comes out to be a great show. And I feel really blessed. I don't think I prayed over the microphone. Let me bless the mic. Thank you, God, for the microphone. Thank you for blessing us with another great show. Thank you for highlighting your message and your word within our message. We pray that the message and the show topics are divinely inspired. We also pray that the listeners and hearer of the show have benefit and merit from the message and that their lives are blessed. We ask all these blessings in your name. Amen, amen, amen. Had to get that in, man. We be flowing so much.
Can I take the show out with a little song?
Yeah, go ahead, brother. Put you back on the solo. Sun Claw gonna close out, man. I see y'all tomorrow.
Na. Batman.
That's fucked up. That's fucked up.